After being dumped by my childhood sweetheart, I took her daughter instead. At the age of 18, Xiao Chu Nan was publicly divorced by his childhood sweetheart, and turned to the arms of the chaebol young master Lin Hao, and gave birth to a daughter 10 months later. 18 years later, Xiao Chu Nan was already a billionaire. In the same year, the Lin family chaebol went bankrupt and owed 10 billion. When Xiao Chu Nan found Lin Xiao Yu, who was working in the store, the 18-year-old girl had grown into a beautiful, fair-skinned lady. "Lin Hao, you once took away my beloved, and now it's not too much to compensate me with your precious daughter." Chapter 1, Dumped. In 2077, at Mingyun University, beneath the girls' dormitory building, Xiao Chu Nan arranged roses into a heart shape, standing inside it, holding a bouquet of roses in his arms. Today, he looked exceptionally handsome, wearing a specially rented white suit, resembling a Prince Charming. A large crowd had gathered, with the girls admiring the romantic scene. After a long wait, a fashionable and beautiful girl stepped out, showing a hint of impatience on her face. Xiao Chu Nan saw her and his eyes were filled with fervor. He kneeled in front of her and said with deep affection, "Ling Yu, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" He had been waiting for this moment for so long. They had been childhood sweethearts, promised to go to Mingyun University together and be together. For this, Xiao Chu Nan had stayed up countless nights tutoring her, helping her with difficult lessons. For 3 years of high school, he had brought her breakfast, helped her get lunch, ran errands for her, and even did her homework. After years of servitude, he was finally going to reap his reward, a girlfriend who was a campus beauty. From now on, he would bask in the envious and jealous glances of others. Zhang Lingyu curled her lips, her eyes flashing with disdain, and coldly said, "Sorry, Xiao Chu Nan, I don't like you anymore." Boom! Xiao Chu Nan froze, as though struck by a thunderbolt. "Phut har har. I can't breathe." So it was just a one-sided infatuation from a simp, served him right. Does he really think someone like him, a poor loser, deserves a high-class girlfriend? The crowd erupted in laughter, mocking him endlessly. To Xiao Chu Nan, it felt like slap after slap, burning his face with shame and humiliation. He had always thought that a simp would end up with nothing, but he never imagined it would happen to him. He had thought that Zhang Lingyu was a good girl. But he never expected this. Vroom, vroom. The roar of a sports car engine broke the tension. The crowd quickly moved aside. "Isn't he that Lin Hao's car? Wow, a Ferrari. It's a limited edition model. Lin Hao really has money." The girls stared in awe, pulling out their phones to take pictures. The boys looked on with jealousy and frustration. Damn, being a rich heir is something else. Beep beep. The car stopped next to Xiao Chu Nan, honking its horn. With a click, the car's roof opened, revealing a convertible. Lin Hao, in casual clothes, looked relaxed, exuding a cool and rebellious vibe. Maybe that's what money can buy. He gave Xiao Chu Nan a disdainful smile, then waved at Zhang Lingyu. "Xiao Yu, come here." Millimeter. Zhang Lingyu obediently ran over, opened the car door, and climbed in, sitting in Lin Hao's lap. Har har. Lin Hao chuckled arrogantly, his hand sliding over Zhang Lingyu's smooth, fair thigh. He couldn't seem to get enough of the feeling. "Xiao Yu, you?" Xiao Chu Nan was stunned. "Heh." Lin Hao sneered, slapped Zhang Lingyu's butt to get her up. Zhang Lingyu jumped out of the car. Lin Hao got out, casually wrapping his arm around Zhang Lingyu's waist while pulling out a red booklet. "See this, loser? Xiao Yu is my wife. If you ever dare to bother her again, I'll destroy you." With that, he slapped their marriage certificate onto Xiao Chu Nan's face. Xiao Chu Nan opened it. It was a marriage certificate. "Lin Hao, Zhang Lingyu. Xiao Chu Nan, thank you for tutoring me. If it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't have made it to Mingyun University, and I wouldn't have met Brother Hao here." Zhang Lingyu leaned obediently against Lin Hao. Xiao Chu Nan remembered how much effort he had put into helping her, falling behind in his own studies. Otherwise, with his abilities, getting into the capital university would have been no problem. But she was now mocking him with it. Xiao Chu Nan clenched his fists, his eyes turning red. If it weren't for his sister lying in the hospital, and the ties he had in this world, he would have killed these two dogs. "Looks like you're still not convinced. Beat him?" Lin Hao's eyes turned cold, issuing the order. Then, a few bodyguards in suits came forward, surrounding Xiao Chu Nan, and started punching and kicking him. Oh, Xiao Chu Nan cried out in pain. After a few minutes, Lin Hao got bored, pulling Zhang Lingyu back to the car. Let us go, this is boring. Let us go home and play cards. The bodyguards stopped, returning to the armored Mercedes-Benz parked a distance away. Lin Hao, sitting in the driver's seat, glanced at Xiao Chu Nan, whose face was bruised and swollen. Remember, losers like you don't deserve to play with high-class toys. With that, the Ferrari roared off. Xiao Chu Nan lay on the ground, surrounded by onlookers. A few girls giggled, whispering amongst themselves. Xiao Chu Nan gave a self-deprecating smile, slowly getting up. His limping steps were slow as he gathered the scattered roses. Then, with a lonely figure, he limped away. Life had to go on. He still had to work part-time in the afternoon to earn money for his sister's medical fees. His sister had inherited their mother's smoking disease and was still lying in the hospital. No one knew how many years she had left. He had heard since he was young that his mother had died when he was very young. His father had passed away from a stroke a few years ago. Now his sister too. Sigh. Xiao Chu Nan sighed softly. He shook off his emotions, changed into a chef's uniform, and went to work. The snack shop sold various snacks to nearby students. Xiao Chu Nan was responsible for preparing ingredients and stir-frying the dishes. Though he was a part-timer, his cooking skills were excellent, earning him 200 a day. Chu Nan, use this meat this afternoon, the bold boss said as he walked in, holding a package of frozen meat. Xiao Chu Nan took a look and was shocked. Frozen meat from 1982. Yeah, it's cheap. The boss put the meat down. No, we're serving students. If it's zombie meat, I won't cook it. Xiao Chu Nan refused. You're so rigid. No wonder you're poor. You can't even get a hot meal, the boss scolded angrily. This isn't about being rigid. What happens if something goes wrong? Xiao Chu Nan replied. Relax, just add some of this medicine, and nothing will happen. The boss took out a pack of anti-diarrhea medicine. Plus, I just got an order for 100 servings from university students. It's for college students, not kids, don't worry. The boss patted Xiao Chu Nan's shoulder. Just because they are college students, you think it's okay to poison them? Xiao Chu Nan's lips twitched. Sorry, I won't cook zombie meat. FCKU, if you won't do it, then get lost, the boss snapped, kicking him out. Pay me for my work first. Xiao Chu Nan calmly pulled out his phone and opened the payment code. You didn't even work, and you want money? There's no way you're getting anything. Get lost. The boss angrily ordered. Xiao Chu Nan pulled out his phone, taking pictures of the frozen meat and the kitchen. Fine. You'll regret this. Leaving the snack shop, Xiao Chu Nan began making phone calls. Hello, I want to report. Chapter 2, Enduring Humiliation. After making the report, Xiao Chu Nan hung up the phone and picked up a shared bike on the roadside to head to the hospital. Upon entering the hospital room, he saw his sister lying in bed, and his heart ached. His eyes began to moisten. His sister's head had been shaved, leaving her bald. Tubes were inserted into her nose, and her pale face showed no color. She looked frail and weak, with an air of decay around her, a smell only found in the elderly at death's door, yet it clung to this young girl's body. That night, Xiao Chu Nan stayed by her side in the hospital. The next day, he went out looking for a job. Sorry, we can't hire you. The first real estate company he interviewed with rejected him. Sorry, you're not qualified. The second interview at a bar ended with the same result. Soon after, Xiao Chu Nan interviewed at over 10 companies, each one rejecting him. What's going on? This isn't right. Even Xiao Chu Nan, as naive as he was, realized something was off. 1 or 2 rejections could be brushed off, but how could so many companies refuse to hire him? Xiao Chu Nan went to another interview. When the HR saw his resume, her expression changed slightly. Just as she was about to reject him, Xiao Chu Nan slipped her an envelope. Miss, I know you don't want to hire me. Could you tell me why? The HR lady looked at the envelope, her eyes lighting up. There was about 1,000 yuan inside. She whispered, this is an order from the Lin family. No one in the South Province can hire anyone on this list, and you're one of them. Did you offend someone from the Lin family? Xiao Chu Nan instantly thought of Lin Hao and his anger flared. It had to be Lin Hao's doing. Thank you, miss. Xiao Chu Nan thanked her and left in frustration. Walking aimlessly down the street with a beer in his hand, he occasionally took a sip. No income. What will happen to my sister? He spotted a construction site nearby, where workers were busy. An idea struck him, and he walked toward the site. Luckily, the construction team was willing to hire him, though he was only given the heavy, strenuous tasks carrying cement and bricks. All right, I'll do it. Xiao Chu Nan accepted without hesitation. The next 6 months were spent between classes and the construction site. During this time, he hadn't seen Ling Yu again. 10 months later, one evening, his good friend Lin Fei invited him out for drinks at a roadside barbecue stall. After work, Xiao Chu Nan headed over. Come on, drink. Lin Fei raised his glass, and Xiao Chu Nan downed a beer in one go, shaking off the fatigue of the day. Chu Nan, do you know about the Lin family's celebration today? Lin Fei asked. What celebration? Xiao Chu Nan asked, uninterested. Ling Yu gave birth today. It's a girl. I went to their celebration party, Lin Fei explained. Huh, then congratulations to her, Xiao Chu Nan sneered and clenched his fist. Though everything that had happened to him was because of her, he knew that if he hadn't been so foolish, none of this would have happened. I have family relations with Lin Hao. I had to go, Lin Fei added. It's fine, I understand. Drink. Xiao Chu Nan raised his glass. Cheers. After finishing their drinks, Lin Fei handed Xiao Chu Nan a card. I know your sister is in the hospital. This card has 500,000 yuan in it. Take it. No, I can earn the money myself, Xiao Chu Nan refused. Take it. 500,000 isn't much. Your sister's daily hospital fee is 2,000, can you handle that? Lin Fei pressed. Don't think I don't know you've maxed out all your online loans. The debt collectors have been calling me. Lin Fei didn't hold back, exposing Xiao Chu Nan's situation. You found that out too, Xiao Chu Nan chuckled bitterly. I also know you're hiding in bomb shelters at night. Do you think those debt collectors don't know? Lin Fei continued. Change your hiding place tomorrow, Lin Fei added as he pushed the card into Xiao Chu Nan's hand, patting him on the shoulder. I can only help you this much, bro. Thanks, Xiao Chu Nan said, not being polite as he took the card. All right, I'm leaving, Lin Fei said, walking off. Months passed. On the first day back to school after the New Year holiday, Xiao Chu Nan was rushing to the construction site when a luxury car pulled up in front of the school gate. The door opened, and a beautiful young woman carrying a baby got out. At that moment, their eyes met. Wow! The baby in her arms started crying loudly, perhaps because the cold air and sudden change of environment made it uncomfortable. Sure, baby, don't cry, Ling Yu gently rocked the baby, trying to calm it. Xiao Chu Nan noticed the baby. It was a cute, chubby little thing. HMPH. Xiao Chu Nan snorted coldly and quickly turned away, walking off with quick steps. Dear, what are you looking at? Lin Hao got out of the car and saw his wife staring into the crowd. Nothing, Ling Yu smiled. Let us go. Today, I'm taking you to meet teacher Ling Yin. Her piano skills will be perfect for teaching you. Okay. 3 years later, graduation season. At the construction site. Chu Nan, come over and help me with this wall. Okay. Xiao Chu Nan agreed and moved to help. Over the past few years, he had become skilled, and now he was a competent civil engineer. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was their hospital calling. Hello. Xiao Chu Nan, your sister's condition is very critical. You should be prepared for the worst. What? Is there really no hope? Xiao Chu Nan's face paled, and his heart felt like it was being crushed. If his sister passed away, he would be left completely alone in this world, a solitary, invincible man. Well, there is one possibility. There's a foreign expert giving a lecture in the province. If you can get him to treat your sister, she might have a chance. Who is he? Xiao Chu Nan asked urgently. Professor Feudal. He's in the provincial capital right now. The doctor paused before continuing, but he has a condition he requires 4 million yuan to help. 4 million? Xiao Chu Nan's head spun when he heard that amount. He was drowning in debt, and the high-interest loans were exhausted. How could he possibly get 4 million? The only wealthy person he knew besides Lin Fei was Lin Hao. But he had heard that Lin Fei's family's factory had gone bankrupt and lost 10 million yuan at the start of the year. There was no way he could borrow money from him. That left only Lin Hao. He had no choice but to ask him. Half an hour later, at the Shangri-La, in a private room, dressed as a janitor, Xiao Chu Nan arrived at the door. Bang! He kicked the door open. Xiao Chu Nan walked in, his face grim as he approached the couple sitting at the table. At that moment, Lin Hao and his family of 3 were enjoying a lavish meal with a table full of exotic dishes. Here, Xiao Yu, eat more, Lin Hao smiled, feeding a piece of meat to his 3-year-old daughter. It seemed like he didn't notice Xiao Chu Nan. Xiao Chu Nan, what are you doing here? Zhang Lingyu asked coldly. Xiao Chu Nan gritted his teeth and said, Zhang Lingyu, we've known each other since childhood. Can you lend me 4 million? Why should I lend you money? Zhang Lingyu sneered. Lin Hao lowered his head to his daughter and said, Xiao Yu, see this? This guy looks handsome, but he's a useless waste. You shouldn't date people like him in the future. This is what a worthless man looks like. The adorable little girl nodded and chirped, Daddy, I see. This uncle looks like a useless man. I won't date anyone like him in the future. Good girl, Lin Hao praised. Xiao Chu Nan could no longer hold back. He pulled out a fruit knife from his sleeve and rushed toward them. His sister's life was on the line. If he didn't get the money, she would die. At that moment, he felt invincible. He feared nothing. What did it matter if they were powerful? They only had one life. His mind was set on one thing: he was going to kill them. HMPH, Jueying. Lin Hao shouted. Swish! A woman in a mask with a high ponytail appeared like a shadow, moving swiftly and striking Xiao Chu Nan's wrist, forcing the fruit knife from his hand. Then, she slapped him across the room. Oh! Xiao Chu Nan felt immense pain, but his mind remained clear. Throw him outside. It would be a shame to kill him. I want to continue humiliating him. Lin Hao ordered. Yes, Jueying complied. Xiao Chu Nan was dragged like a dead dog and thrown outside the hotel. Lin Hao. Even though his heart was filled with hatred, he was powerless to stop what had happened. Ding! A qualified host detected. System binding in progress. Chapter 3, The Wheel of Fortune Turns. What's that noise? Xiao Chu Nan was startled and sat up straight, muttering to himself in disbelief, System, is it really the system? At that moment, a synthetic electronic voice echoed in his mind. System binding successful. Mission initiated. 15 years later. At the top floor of Mingyun Tower, Xiao Chu Nan stood tall in a black suit, his posture straight as he gazed out of the floor-to-ceiling windows. From this high vantage point, he looked down on the entire Mingyun city. 15 years ago, he had been a small-time nobody. Ever since he received the system, his fortunes had changed. But in the end, he was unable to save his sister. Fortunately, the system had given him a freezing agent that preserved his sister's body in a state of suspended animation, keeping her in a fragile, almost lifeless state. One day, he hoped to revive her. Mr. Xiao, here's the latest news. The Lin Group has completely collapsed, his tall and sexy secretary reported as she walked over to him. And what about the Lin family? Xiao Chu Nan asked, his hands in his pockets, his expression unchanged. Several high-ranking members of the Lin family have been sentenced to death, and the others have received life sentences. Lin Hao, the heir of the Lin Group, vanished last night without a trace. Our people saw him at the airport with his bodyguard, Shadow, boarding a yacht. They escaped to Frog Island and then flew abroad, the secretary explained. His wife, Zhang Lingyu, fled to the new village slums, while their daughter, Lin Xiao Yu, is attending Mingyun University. She is currently working part-time handing out flyers at one of our company's stores, she continued in detail. Har har, interesting. The wheel of fortune really does turn, Xiao Chu Nan sneered. The Lin family had offended some big figures and collapsed overnight. And all of this had happened before he even had to make a move. It was a shocking turn of events. Now, Xiao Chu Nan was worth billions, and his company was worth trillions. He was far more powerful than the Lin family ever was. Let us go take a look, Xiao Chu Nan said. Yes, his secretary, Nan, knew exactly what he wanted to see. She was not only his secretary, but also his driver and housekeeper. 10 minutes later, Nan drove him to a store in the East City. The car stopped across the street. Xiao Chu Nan peered through the car window at a figure under the trees, a person dressed in a frog costume. He saw the person sitting on a bench, removing their headpiece and setting it aside to reveal a delicate and charming face. The person, a young woman, had a flushed face from the heat and was using a stack of flyers to fan herself. When Xiao Chu Nan saw how beautiful she was, he couldn't help but remember her as a baby. In the blink of an eye, she had grown into a young woman. The once proud daughter of the Lin family was now handing out flyers on the street, wearing a frog costume. To see her in such a pitiful situation was truly lamentable. Ding! New desire detected in the host. New mission, meet Lin Xiao Yu. Reward, physique-enhancing medicine. Xiao Chu Nan was taken aback. For the past several years, the system had only rewarded him with wealth, never anything related to his physical body. This time, however, the reward was different. I see. This is the main quest, Xiao Chu Nan thought. He understood that every character would trigger a quest line, but he hadn't expected Lin Xiao Yu to be the main one. Arrange it. Tell them I'm going to have a meal at the restaurant and give them 3 minutes to prepare, Xiao Chu Nan ordered. Got it, Nan quickly made the arrangements. Meanwhile, Lin Xiao Yu, who was resting outside, received an urgent call from the manager. Hurry back. Mr. Xiao is coming to the restaurant. You'll be in charge of serving him tea. Okay, Lin Xiao Yu replied, quickly grabbing her headpiece and rushing back to the store. 3 minutes later, Xiao Chu Nan got out of the car and entered the restaurant with Nan. This was a high-end restaurant owned by the company, specializing in natural food, very popular among wealthy people in the south. Mr. Xiao, this way please, the manager greeted them. Xiao Chu Nan nodded and walked with Nan into a private room. Is that Mr. Xiao? He is so handsome. The female staff members watched from a distance, their eyes full of admiration. I heard Mr. Xiao is already 36, but he looks like he is in his 20s. Doesn't he have any signs of middle-aged weight gain? Yeah, he really is handsome, so stylish. At this moment, Lin Xiao Yu hurriedly entered the room with a tea kettle. Mr. Xiao, let me pour you some tea. Lin Xiao Yu spoke with grace and composure, not showing any signs of nervousness despite the high-profile presence of the man in front of her. Xiao Chu Nan stared at her exquisite face, memories from the past flashing through his mind. Suddenly, Lin Xiao Yu spaced out for a moment and accidentally burned herself with the hot tea. She flinched, causing the teacup to fly from her hand. The scalding hot tea splashed onto Xiao Chu Nan's pants. Xiao Chu Nan winced in pain. Mr. Xiao, are you okay? Nan exclaimed. I'm so sorry. Lin Xiao Yu quickly pulled out a tissue and bent down to wipe the hot tea from Xiao Chu Nan's pants. Slap. Xiao Chu Nan grabbed her wrist, stopping her from continuing. Nan, you go outside, he ordered. Yes, Nan could only silently pity the young girl before leaving the room. I'm so sorry, Mr. Xiao, I didn't mean to. Lin Xiao Yu's voice trembled, her fear palpable. What is your name? Xiao Chu Nan asked, his voice cold. My name is Lin Xiao Yu, the young woman answered timidly. All right, Lin Xiao Yu, I'll remember you, Xiao Chu Nan said, his voice low. Mr. Xiao, please don't fire me. I'll raise enough money for my tuition soon. Please, I beg you. Lin Xiao Yu pleaded, her clear eyes shimmering with tears. Her look was like that of a fragile spring blossom, and Xiao Chu Nan couldn't help but feel pity for her. Ding! Mission completed, meet Lin Xiao Yu. Reward, physique-enhancing medicine. Physique-enhancing medicine description, after consumption, it strengthens bones and muscles, doubling physical fitness. New mission, win Lin Xiao Yu over, and exact revenge on Lin Hao and his wife for all the humiliation they caused you. Reward, the legendary martial arts, praying mantis fist. Upon hearing praying mantis fist, Xiao Chu Nan was thrilled. Finally, the system was rewarding him with something different, something legendary martial arts. However, the system's demands were more extreme than he imagined. He was expected to take the girl right from the start. Xiao Chu Nan, who had already been considering this, looked at the girl beside him and said coldly, I'm tempted to fire you, Lin Xiao Yu. Mr. Xiao, please don't fire me, she whispered, her voice breaking. Then it depends on your performance, Xiao Chu Nan said, suddenly pulling her wrist. The girl gasped, her soft body crashing into his chest. Chapter 4: Lin Xiao Yu's first kiss. Let me go. The girl struggled hard, feeling embarrassed and angry, and bit him hard, leaving a row of teeth marks. You dare to bite me? Xiao Chuan's deep eyes emitted a cold light. He suddenly reached out and pinched her delicate chin, straightening her little face so that she could look at him. Lin Xiao Yu's big watery eyes were covered with a layer of mist, tears were flashing in the corners of her eyes, and she pouted her lips with an aggrieved look. As the eldest daughter of the Lin family, when had she ever suffered such injustice? She hated the man in front of her. Believe it or not, I will fire you. Xiao Chu Nan couldn't help teasing her when he saw her pitiful look. Then just fire me. I don't want your money. Let me go. If you move again, I'll kiss you. Xiao Chuan threatened viciously. The girl was so frightened that she dared not move. Xiao Chu Nan came up to her and covered her mouth. The girl opened her beautiful eyes wide, then struggled violently like a trapped animal. This is her first kiss. She wanted to cry at this moment. Xiao Chu Nan felt extremely happy. He really wanted to take a picture of this scene and share it with Lin Hao and his wife. Lin Hao, did you see that? I'm kissing your daughter. It would be great if you could see it. I wonder what your expression would be. Har har har. A long time. After Xiao Chuan kissed her enough, he let her go. Woo woo, I'm going to call the police to arrest you. The girl cried loudly, took out her cell phone from her pocket and was about to call the police. Har har, catch me, do you know who I am? Xiao Chu Nan pinched her delicate chin, looked into her beautiful eyes, and said viciously. Aren't you Mr. Xiao? Even if you are rich, you can't ignore the law. The girl's voice was tearful, her face was full of resentment, and there was a hint of stubbornness and unwillingness to accept it. Xiao Yu, of course you forgot about me, your uncle. Xiao Chu Nan stretched out his thumb and pinched her rosy little mouth. Your little mouth said I was a waste when you were 3 years old. Now, I'm just taking revenge. Even if you call the police to arrest me, I will admit it. Lin Xiao Yu was stunned when she heard this. I called you a waste when I was 3 years old. That's impossible. I don't even know you. Of course you don't know me. Your father Lin Hao and your mother Zhang Ling Yu know me. When I first met you, you were still a little baby. The second time I met you, you scolded me. Tell me, how could your little mouth be so vicious? After saying that, Xiao Chuan let her go. She flew up and sat opposite, far away from Xiao Chu Nan. Xiao Chu Nan picked up the teacup and said to the outside. Come in. Then the waiter came in and served the food. After serving the dishes, they went out and closed the door, leaving only 2 people in the private room again. Without waiting for the girl to answer, Xiao Chu Nan ate while saying. Back then, I was dumped by your mother, but I didn't hate her because I was too much of a flatterer. But your father, Lin Hao, actually beat me up. And your mother, who enjoys my kindness to her with a clear conscience, even mocks me in return. Without me, your mother can only go to junior college. Without me helping her with her lessons and explaining things to her, she would never be able to get into Mingyun University until she dies. The more he spoke, the more excited Xiao Chu Nan became, his eyes filled with bloodshot. Remember that time when my sister was seriously ill and I asked your parents to borrow money? Not only did they refuse to lend it to me, they also laughed at me. That time, you laughed at me too. Tell me, should I retaliate against you? Xiao Chu Nan's eyes were fierce, like a tiger or wolf, and he looked at her ferociously. Lin Xiao Yu said aggrievedly, I was ignorant when I was young, and I didn't do it on purpose. Just because of this, you have been holding a grudge against me for so long, and took away someone's first kiss. I am just some evil person and I hold grudges. Not only will I avenge you, I will also avenge your parents. Xiao Chu Nan grinned wickedly. You? Lin Xiao Yu was frightened, and then said softly. My parents are not having a good life now, and you want to take revenge on them. Are you still a human being? I'm not a human, I'm a demon. I heard your mother is in the slums, I'm sending someone to kill her right now. Xiao Chu Nan took out his cell phone and made a call. No. Lin Xiao Yu was frightened and rushed over to grab his phone. Please don't. Why, you allow them to bully me but I can't retaliate against them. Xiao Chu Nan was slightly annoyed and looked at her coldly. I. Lin Xiao Yu lowered her head and was silent for a long time. After a long time, she spoke softly. You, what do you want in exchange for giving up your revenge on my mother? Xiao Chu Nan picked up a chicken leg and started eating. I won't give up. Lin Xiao Yu panicked. But Xiao Chu Nan changed the subject and stared at her graceful body. Although the girl was wearing a waitress's uniform, it couldn't hide her graceful figure. Her shiny black hair was tied into a high ponytail. Her skin is fair and clean, and her face is exquisite. One can imagine how many little boys' hearts this girl is. Maybe they will never forget it until they die. And today, I want to win the heart of countless boys, the white moonlight. 18 years ago, your father took my girlfriend away for a quick marriage. You are your parents' sweetheart. As long as I take you away, it will be like taking revenge on your parents, he. Xiao Chu Nan licked his lips evilly. You, don't mess around. Lin Xiao Yu was horrified when she heard this. She immediately retreated behind the door, opened it and was about to go out. Chapter 5, Capturing the Enemy's Daughter. Har, look how scared you are. Never mind, just go away. Anyway, your father has fled abroad, and you currently owe tens of billions. You don't need me to help. With the methods used by those debt collectors, your mother will have a hard time. As for you, a 211 university student, it would be great if you could earn tens of thousands of yuan a month after graduation. You should slowly pay off your debts in this life. Oh, by the way, those debt collectors haven't come to school to look for you yet, right? You said they went to school, and if your classmates and friends knew you were a deadbeat, what would they think? Xiao Chu Nan talked freely with a smile on his face. Lin Xiao Yu was stunned. She used to be a high and mighty lady. She is the campus beauty goddess of Mingyun University. People around her respect her, fear her, and try to please her. The man licked her, held her, and cared for her. Once those people know that I am a deadbeat, there will be a lot of criticism. Her image will suddenly collapse. More importantly, even if my mother hid in the slums, she couldn't escape from those crazy debt collectors. Hey, I'm a good person too. I don't like bullying others. Go away, and I won't bully you anymore. Xiao Chu Nan actually started to chase people away. Haven't you bullied anyone yet? The girl glared at him resentfully. Thinking of her father who was on the run abroad and her mother who lived in the slums, she bit her red lips with her pearly teeth, hesitated for a long time and said, Can you lend me 10 billion? How many? Xiao Chu Nan almost thought he had heard it wrong. I can be with you for a while. She lowered her head and dared not look the man in the eye. Do you know what you are saying? Xiao Chuan was amused. Are you trying to say that I'm dishonest and sell myself for money? She said dejectedly. No, what did you do that's worth 10 billion? Do you know how much I can do with 10 billion? Do you think that just because you are pretty and a school beauty, you are valuable? Xiao Chu Nan sneered coldly. Lin Xiao Yu was speechless. Then, what do you want in exchange for lending me money? Stay with me for 10 years. Xiao Chu Nan said. She was startled and hesitated. While she was hesitating, Xiao Chu Nan was also full, so he put down his chopsticks, took a tissue to wipe his mouth, and stood up to leave. I promise you. Lin Xiao Yu chased after him with red eyes. For her parents, she had no choice but to sacrifice herself. Har, smart choice. Come on, follow me to the hotel. Xiao Chu Nan took her out directly, asked the store manager to pay her salary, and let her change back into her own clothes. 10 minutes later, the girl was sitting in the back seat of the luxury car. She lowered her head nervously, her slender fingers clenching the corner of her clothes. Xiao Chu Nan saw that she was like a frightened little rabbit, but he didn't do anything out of the ordinary to her. Soon, we arrived at the hotel. Mr. Xiao. Mr. Xiao. As soon as we got off the car, the hotel manager and the staff came to greet us. Don't worry about me, just go and do your work. Xiao Chuan waved his hand. Yes. The person in charge nodded and then left with his employees. Let's go. After saying something to the girl in the car, Xiao Chuan walked towards the elevator. The girl got out of the car and followed him. There was silence all the way. Enter the presidential suite. I'm going to take a shower first. If you regret it, you can leave at any time. Xiao Chu Nan took off his shirt and went into the bathroom. Now, the evil within him, his desire for revenge, and his primitive desires all reached their peak. Thinking of this, he turned off the shower, picked up his cell phone and made a call. "Check Lin Hao's location for me." "Yes, master." The corners of Xiao Chuan's mouth curled up slightly. "Lin Hao, please don't die abroad." After taking a shower, I came out and saw Lin Xiao Yu still sitting there. "Since you have made up your mind, then write me an IOU. If you regret it, I won't be able to complain." Xiao Chu Nan handed her a pen and paper. Lin Xiao Yu had no objection, wrote down the conditions and pressed her fingerprint. "Is it okay now? Go take a shower." Xiao Chu Nan took the IOU. Lin Xiao Yu quickly went to the bathroom and closed the door. About half an hour later, the beauty came out of the bath. Xiao Chu Nan was so fascinated that he swallowed his saliva. The high-powered hair dryer quickly dried her hair, and she walked nervously towards the big bed. "Come over. Tonight, let your uncle love you well." As he spoke, Xiao Chuan licked his lips, like a complete pervert. "Hey, what are you doing?" Suddenly, her cell phone on the bedside table rang. This ringtone is really hilarious. It's hard to imagine that a school beauty like her also likes to act weird in private. Xiao Chuanan reached out for his cell phone and took a look. It was a call from a man named Brother Wang Liu. "A friend of the opposite sex who calls me brother, is he your boyfriend?" Xiao Chuanan asked. "No." The girl snatched the phone and was about to hang up. "Listen," Xiao Chuan ordered. Lin Xiao Yu could only click to answer the call. "Sister Xiao Yu, where are you? I didn't see you in the store. The manager said you quit your job." An anxious voice came from the phone. I'm on my way home. I'm fine. Brother Wang Liu, you don't have to worry about me." Xiao Chu Nan came over, put his nose against her smooth face, took a deep breath, and then whispered. "You're calling me that so intimately, and you still say I'm not your boyfriend." At this time, a voice came from the phone. "You're going back?" "Well, I've made an appointment with a few people in the industry to discuss the business plan. Since you're going back, I'll talk to them." "Yeah." Lin Xiao Yu responded softly. "Don't worry, Sister Xiao Yu, I will definitely help you pay off your debts." Wang Liu spoke in a firm tone. "Okay, I understand. I'm hanging up." Lin Xiao Yu quickly hung up the phone. If your licksdog boyfriend knew you were lying, would he collapse?" Xiao Chuanan teased. The girl turned her head away and ignored him. Chapter 6. The cargo was robbed, resulting in a loss of more than 10 billion. "Brother Wang Liu, I'm sorry." Tears flowed from the corners of Lin Xiao Yu's eyes. A night passed. When Xiao Chuanan woke up, it was already 8 o'clock the next morning. Ding, mission completed, capture Lin Xiao Yu. Reward, the ultimate martial arts skill Mantis Fist. The electronic synthesizer sound of the system sounded in my mind. He then gained an extra memory and all the muscles in his body were strengthened. He has mastered the Mantis Fist. Although it is a secular martial art, it can easily defeat 30 to 50 low-level warriors. In addition, he had drunk the body-hardening potion, so his physique was incomparable to ordinary people. The beautiful girl beside me is gone, but there is still a faint fragrance in the quilt. And a shocking fallen red plum blossom. Xiao Chuanan couldn't help but smile. This was his own record. It is also a revenge on the enemy and Chiang Mai. How could he describe his mood at this moment? I have to say that Lin Xiao Yu is really the best. He has played with many female stars, young models, and so-called school beauties. But none of them can compare to Lin Xiao Yu. So cool. Xiao Chuan stretched and howled at the top of his lungs, feeling refreshed. I got up and walked out of the bedroom, and found Lin Xiao Yu sitting in front of the huge floor-to-ceiling window, with her hands on her knees and her chin resting on her knees, staring blankly at the entire Mingyun city below. She was still wearing the same hot pants and t-shirt she had worn yesterday, with her hair loose, and the morning sun shining on her seemed to cast a layer of divine light on her. Xiao Chuanan ignored her and went to the bathroom to take a shower. "Hello. I received a call while taking a shower. Boss Xiao, this is bad. Last night our 2 batches of goods were hijacked by the Qinglong gang and the armed forces of the slums." Su Ainin reported anxiously. "It's them again. Last time they injured our employees, and this time they robbed our goods. Do you really think I dare not touch them?" Xiao Chunan snorted coldly. "Arrange another batch of goods to be sent over, and arrange more people to escort them. I will make the rest arrangements when I return to the company. Yes, Mr. Xiao. Suanan went to do it. In 2095, spiritual energy is revived, technology is advanced, the world's situation is turbulent, and S3 is about to begin. The governments of various countries are unable to take care of their own affairs, various civil forces are rising, and the world is in chaos. It is an era of order in chaos. In addition, in the cyberpunk era, the gap between the rich and the poor is huge, and more people are willing to take risks. It's difficult to do business in this era. Xiao Chu Nan came out of the shower and shouted to the girl who was still in a daze, "Come here." Lin Xiao Yu looked at him dully, then slowly stood up. She frowned as if in pain, and limped towards him. When she walked up to the man, she was hugged in his arms, and then the man kissed her domineeringly. She resisted symbolically and let the man do what he wanted. After a long time, they separated. Xiao Chu Nan stuffed a black card into her hand. There is 100 million in this card. Use it to pay off your debts first. Then, take at least 1 day a week to spend time with me. I don't care what you do the rest of the time. But I don't want to see you having any ambiguity with other men, otherwise, Xiao Chu Nan warned coldly. The girl's body trembled, and she couldn't help but shed tears when she thought of her childhood sweetheart. Sorry, Brother Wang Liu. You can stay here and rest today. I have to go back to the company. By the way, I'll add you on WeChat. Xiao Chu Nan took out his cell phone. The girl's tears were still on her face when she heard someone wanted to add a friend and took out her cell phone. Her nickname is actually the invincible Tyrannosaurus god of war, and her avatar is a cartoon monster. Xiao Chu Nan couldn't help laughing. There was a hint of unnaturalness on the girl's face. Okay, I'm leaving. Xiao Chu Nan rubbed her hair, changed his clothes, and left in a hurry. After returning to the company, Xiao Chuan began to gather people. Ding, new mission released, take down the Qinglong gang and the slum forces. Reward, golden bell and iron cloth shirt. Xiao Chu Nan was shocked, it's actually advanced martial arts. Most people simply cannot believe that the secret martial arts such as the golden bell cover and iron cloth shirt really exist. Boss Xiao. Suanan came, one of our ocean-going cargo ships was hijacked by the Qinglong Club, and the total loss exceeded 1 billion. The slum forces hijacked 15 of our heavy trucks, and the total loss of the goods exceeded 300 million. The total loss is more than 10 billion. Well, have you gathered the manpower? Xiao Chu Nan nodded calmly, but he was already furious in his heart. This green dragon will attack repeatedly. He had already reached the point of being unable to endure it. We've gathered, and we're all waiting in Ying'an. Suanan said. Okay. Xiao Chuan nodded, and then went to the next building. This is the security department created by Xiao Chu Nan. Shadowin. It is also a bodyguard company. In Mingyun, every wealthy person has several Ying'an bodyguards around him. At this time, in the basement square, 300 bodyguards were lined up in an orderly manner and stood straight. Xiao Chu Nan walked in quickly. Owner. More than 300 people knelt down and worshipped. These hundreds of people are all orphans. They have been trained to be masters since childhood and are only loyal to Xiao Chu Nan. Everyone, the Qinglong society and the slums have repeatedly attacked us. This time I will completely destroy them. Do you have confidence? Xiao Chu Nan said loudly. Yes, everyone said in unison. Okay, get ready for action. Xiao Chuan waved his hand. Master, be careful. Bang. Well. As Xiao Chu Nan turned around, a series of unexpected events happened behind him in a flash. When he turned around, he saw Li Yunlong slowly falling down with a bullet in his eyebrow. In the crowd, a man was holding a desert eagle. Smoke was still coming out of the black muzzle of the gun. Bang! At this time, another man fired a shot from the side. Xiao Chu Nan reacted and immediately performed the mantis fist. He reached forward as fast as lightning and grabbed the bullet firmly in his palm. There are spies, be careful. At this time, the crowd rioted and quickly pinned down the two spies. Master, how do we deal with spies? Asked Ji Jabao, deputy security captain. Kill them all. Also, select 100 of my old subordinates to follow me out, and the rest will stay at the base. Collect Li Yunlong's body and bury him properly. Xiao Chu Nan clenched his fists and had a gloomy face. He didn't expect that his men could be bribed by the enemy. Who wants to kill me? Qinglong Club. Still. Leader Club. Xiao Chu Nan couldn't figure it out. Soon, Ying'an selected 100 of his old subordinates. These people were completely trustworthy and were adopted by Xiao Chuan himself. The remaining 200 people were handed over to his subordinates to investigate the spies. Let's go. Xiao Chuan gave the order. Then, one after another bulletproof off-road vehicles drove out of the underground base. Qinglonghui is located in a fishing village on the seashore outside the city. There are many industrial parks here, the terrain is complex, and the main traffic routes are guarded. The fishing village is 5 kilometers away from Wowo Island overseas. Usually, the Qinglong society not only robs passing ships. They also engage in robbery, human trafficking, fraud, etc. in the mainland. Most importantly, their one-stop foot massage parlors are very popular and bring them huge profits. Chapter 7, Breaking into the Azure Dragon Society. The off-road vehicle stopped 5 kilometers away from Qinglong Villa. Boss Xiao, what is this? Suanan was puzzled. Wait for someone. Xiao Chu Nan said. He would not be so stupid as to lead more than 100 people to attack Qinglong Villa. This is the famous Kiki Park, which is guarded by a group of armed forces. But they are just a bunch of small fry, so I'm not afraid of them. The key is that Xiao Chu Nan does not want to launch a large-scale gunfight, as that would result in too many casualties. Who? Suanan was stunned. Scarlet Thorn. Xiao Chuan spat out a few words. What? Suanan was shocked. International killer organization, Scarlet Thorn. Every killer inside is an elite. I didn't expect that even such a person would be hired. If you have money, you can be willful. And so, wait until nightfall. Ding dong. Xiao Chuan's cell phone rang. Action. Xiao Chuan gave the order. Boom boom. The off-road vehicle started and roared like a giant beast, rushing towards the Qinglong Villa in front. When they arrived at the gate of Qinglong Villa, it was open and the people on guard inside had disappeared. After entering the villa, everyone dispersed and quietly sneaked into each villa. Xiao Chu Nan and Suanan stayed in the car waiting for news. Boss Xiao, I feel like something is wrong. The villas nearby are too quiet. Suanan heard that this was a place of sin, so how could it be so quiet at night? Besides, this is the south, and at night, there will always be the sounds of men drinking and making noise. At this time, those shadow security masters who rushed into the villas found that every villa was empty. Although the villa was brightly lit, there was no one inside. Oh no, I've been fooled. The master is in danger. Hundreds of shadow security bodyguards realized the danger at the same time and turned back in a hurry. However, they had only taken a few steps when they were stopped by people who came out of the darkness. They were holding AK-47 and aimed at every member of Kogen. Par par par. The sound of flesh hitting flesh rang out rhythmically. Boss Xiao, I've been waiting for a long time. I never thought you would dare to break into our villa. Now that you're here, don't leave. A big man clapped his hands and surrounded the SUV with a group of people. This group of people were all holding hot weapons, with the black muzzles of their guns pointed at Xiao Chu Nan. Boss Xiao, there's something wrong with the Scarlet Thorn. Suanan immediately realized the problem. It turns out that outsiders cannot be trusted. Xiao Chuan closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Well. Suddenly, screams were heard outside. What's going on? The big man was surprised, and the next second the dagger cut his throat. In an instant, all the minions outside were dealt with. Boss Xiao, we are late. Several men in red windbreakers came up and opened the car door. They were the Scarlet Thorn killers. A hint of doubt flashed across Xiao Chuan's eyes. Since it wasn't the Scarlet Thorn, then it must be a spy in the Ying'an building who leaked the information to the Qinglong society. The matter was accomplished in secrecy, and now that it has been exposed, things will be dangerous from now on. Da. Suddenly, someone opened fire in secret, and from the sound, it was the domineering AK-47 weapon. HMPH. The Scarlet Thorn killer snorted coldly, then stood in front of Xiao Chu Nan, waving the dagger in his hand. Dang dang dang. Sparks flew, and each cut accurately cut through the flying bullets. In 2095, the world was in chaos because of the rise of warriors, and the official firearms were simply unable to suppress these people. In this era, while spiritual energy is reviving, technology is also developing rapidly. The rich rely on technology, the poor rely on mutation, and warriors rely on practice. Scarlet Thorn, no wonder, let me meet you in person. A lazy voice was heard, and then a sloppy man rushed out. Yi Yang, the best swordsman in Haicheng. Seeing this person, Su Anan was horrified. Har har, it's just an empty reputation. The sloppy man was holding a long sword with a lazy posture, and he really looked like an expert. When he saw Su Anan, his cloudy eyes sparkled. Superb, too superb, better than any I've played with on Girls Island. This big thunder, this big ass, this figure, this strength. Why don't you just follow me, I will love you well. Yi Yang stared at Su Anan's figure. Su Anan was frightened and hid behind Xiao Chu Nan. Swordsman. Humph, interesting. You even dare to covet my people. Do you want to die? Xiao Chu Nan said. You? Yi Yang chuckled. Trash like you doesn't even deserve my attention. However, I like beautiful women. If you hand her over, I can let you go. How about that? Sure, only if you can beat me. Xiao Chu Nan said calmly. Come on. Yi Yang rushed up instantly and his figure swept away like the wind. Superior. Several assassins from Scarlet Thorn stepped forward. Looking for death. Yi Yang quickly drew his sword, 2 sword lights flashed, and he slashed out with 2 swords like lightning. Laugh. Brush. The sword flashed, chopped off a killer's arm and cut off a head. The 2 killers were defeated instantly. Go. Seeing that the situation was not right, the remaining 2 killers immediately threw a smoke bomb, and as it exploded, they disappeared without a trace. You guys are fast. Yi Yang sneered and looked at Xiao Chu Nan. Now, it's your turn. Die. Da. He ran barefoot on the floor, making extremely dense footsteps, which showed that he was walking very fast. Su Anan's heart was in her throat. She wanted to agree. Xiao Chu Nan squeezed her little hand, signaling her to be at ease. Just when Yi Yang came in front of him, Xiao Chu Nan suddenly turned sideways, then stretched out his hands, like a praying mantis hunting, and his moves were as fast as lightning. Boom sound. Both hands hit Yi Yang with a loud bang, and a huge force was transmitted to his side, instantly shattering his spleen and kidneys. Arr! Yi Yang screamed, his eyes went dark, and he lost his strength and fell down on the spot. Let me go. Yi Yang begged for mercy in fear. Xiao Chu Nan snorted coldly and stepped on his head. Bang! Watermelon bursting. Anyone who dares to covet me will only end up dead. Come out, you've been watching for a long time. After Xiao Chu Nan finished speaking, he looked towards a building on the side. In the darkness, there were 2 pairs of bright eyes. If I had known you had some strength, I should have made the first move, otherwise Yi Yang wouldn't have died. A cold voice sounded. A pair of sisters in silver uniforms jumped down from the building and landed steadily. The sisters are tall, with slim waists and long legs, and are extremely sexy and charming. You are the strongest in the Azure Dragon Society. Xiao Chu Nan asked calmly. Yes. Lin Rushuang answered, and then her body flew out at high speed like a cheetah and chopped with 1 palm. Bang! Xiao Chu Nan suddenly threw a punch to block her attack. Then he exerted a little force and pushed Lin Rushuang away. Bang bang! Another woman, Han Rushue, took out her desert eagle and fired 2 shots. Xiao Chu Nan stretched out both hands and probed into the air. He held 2 bullets in his hands. Impossible, the 2 sisters exclaimed at the same time. Han Rushue was shocked and said, Mantis Fist. What is your relationship with old Ghost by her? Xiao Chu Nan did not answer, but rushed towards them, leaving a long phantom, at an incredibly fast speed. This is the effect of taking the medicine, physical fitness has been greatly improved. Run separately. Lin Rushuang was horrified. The oppressive feeling this man brought to them was too strong. It was as if he was a shark in the sea and he was a drowning man. When he saw him coming, he was powerless to resist. Can you run away? Xiao Chuan chased after her and pushed her to the ground. The 2 hugged each other and rolled on the grass. Puff! Lin Rushuang took the opportunity to spit out a flying knife. Laugh! The flying knife pierced steadily into Xiao Chuan's heart. HMPH, nothing more than that. Leng Rushuan said proudly. Oh. Xiao Chuan's head drooped weakly and fell between her thunder. You're still taking advantage of me even after you die. Leng Rushuan said with disgust. You have a nice figure. Xiao Chuan suddenly raised his head and smiled at her. You are not dead, how is this possible? Leng Rushuan was stunned. Haven't you heard that the rich rely on technology? Xiao Chuanan pulled out the flying knife from his chest, but there was a hole in his clothes, and there was a layer of inner armor inside, which gave off a metallic luster. Mr. Xiao, be careful! Su Ainan shouted. Xiao Chuanan jumped up like a whirlwind and knocked Han Rushua, who was about to launch a sneak attack, away with one punch. Then he quickly stepped forward, pinched her cheek, thrust his fingers roughly in, and pulled out a throwing knife. Phut, why are your hands so salty? Han Rushua kept spitting and said with disgust. Xiao Chuanan was too lazy to talk nonsense with her. He took off their silver uniforms and stripped them naked in an instant. Chapter 8, Capture the Killer Sisters. After making sure they had no hidden weapons on them, they tied them up with ropes and threw them into the car. Where is your leader? Xiao Chuanan asked as he looked at the two naked women. In the second underground secret passage, in the fourth room, out of the sewer, into the second floor of the tobacco shop. Leng Rushuan said it directly without any struggle. Xiao Chuanan immediately ordered his men to search for him. When Scarlet Thorn took action just now, he had already rescued some of his own people. After a fierce battle, the people on his side had taken over the entire villa. Ji Jibao took the lead and immediately headed towards the tunnel that Leng Rushuan mentioned. Sure enough, the underground passage of the villa is full of twists and turns. About half an hour later, the men came back escorting a burly man. Kneel down. Ji Jibao pushed hard, then forced the leader of the Qinglong gang to kneel down towards Xiao Chuanan. Mr. Xiao, spare my life. I didn't mean to rob your goods. It was an order from Girls Island. Qinglong gang leader Zhu Shoshan begged for mercy, believing that he would not die as long as he gave out the mastermind behind the incident. Only Girls Island. Xiao Chunan showed a hint of ridicule. Those old perverts on Girls Island wouldn't dare to touch my goods. Do you think I would believe it? Speak. Or die. Xiao Chuan's voice suddenly became cold and stern, which frightened everyone around him. Zhu Shoshan was so scared that he peed himself. Don't kill me, I said, there is more. Bang. A sniper shot from the rooftop in the distance. Zhu Shoshan died on the spot. Follow me. As the captain of Ying'an, Ji Jibao immediately understood the situation and led the team forward. Soon, they returned with the sniper's body. Master, he is dead. Yeah. Xiao Chuanan was not surprised. It seems that the power behind this is a little beyond my expectations. Afterwards, under Xiao Chuan's arrangement, they began to deal with the bodies at the scene. He also called a large truck to take away all the treasures of the Qinglong society. And, get back the freighter and the cargo. Boss Xiao, the Qinglong gang is really rich. Looking at the cartloads of gold and banknotes, Su Ainan was dumbfounded. There's something even more explosive. Ji Jibao drove over in a three-wheeled cart filled with wooden boxes. When I opened one of them, it turned out to be a tiger skin. Oh my god! Su Ainan exclaimed, covering her mouth. Let's take them back first. We still have those bastards in the slums to deal with. Now is not the time to count the harvest. Xiao Chuanan said. Yes, master. Ding dong. Xiao Chuan's cell phone rang. After taking a look, I saw that the message was sent by our spy in the slums. Master, there is a riot in the slums, and Miss Xiao Yu has returned home. The riot may affect her. Xiao Chunan put away his phone and said, let's go. Then get in the car. The back seat of the SUV was very spacious, more than enough to fit two naked women and Xiao Chuanan. Su Ainan was driving in front. The two sisters Leng Rushuang and Han Rushua sat on each side, curled up to cover their private parts, and turned sideways to the window. You can tell me who you are. Xiao Chunan said. My name is Leng Rushuang. My name is Han Rushua. We were the killers of Crystal Palace. The two women spoke one by one. Why are you helping take Mari-san? Su Ainan asked. Zhu Shoshan saved us, and we promised to protect him for 3 years. This year is the 3rd year. One of them said that he didn't know whether it was an older sister or a younger sister. The two look exactly the same, and Xiao Chuan can't tell who is the elder sister. The 3-year period is up, how about you just follow me from now on? Xiao Chu Nan stretched out his right hand and placed it on her shoulder. The warm big hand touched her delicate skin without any obstruction, causing the woman's delicate body to tremble slightly. It was the first time for her to have such close contact with a man. Xiao Chu Nan didn't notice that Han Rushue, who was standing next to him, seemed to feel the same way and her body trembled slightly. Both women wanted to kill someone. There were men who had tried to hit on them before, but they had always been dismembered by them. For 3 years, Zhu Shoshan treated them with respect, as if afraid of angering them. Who knew Xiao Chu Nan was so bold? No, not that good. Leng Rushuan snorted. If you can't use it for my benefit, don't blame me for being ruthless. Xiao Chuan's tone turned cold. Although both women are very beautiful and have great figures, but there will be no mercy for Xiao Chu Nan, who deserves to be killed. I'll think about it. Leng Rushuan was scared and immediately changed her words. An annual salary of tens of millions and a mansion, all in exchange for your personal protection and being your thug. Xiao Chu Nan said. It's too little. I want 20 million. Han Rushue was tempted, but she still wanted to try harder. They come out to make money, and they are naturally willing to work if there is money to be made. Otherwise, how would we get the money to buy clothes and weapons? We have to live. Okay. Xiao Chuan nodded in agreement. Give us back our clothes. After the deal was done, Leng Rushuan was not that scared anymore and asked for it shamefully. Here you go. Xiao Chuanan took the clothes. This silver uniform was very light and thin, and fit well. Wearing it is like wearing a leather jacket, which perfectly brings out their sexy and mature figures, and is very charming. Xiao Chu Nan watched the two people getting dressed with great interest. I have to say that these two female killers are really the best. She has a gorgeous face and a perfect figure, but she's a little cold. You bastard! Han Rushue cursed. Xiao Chuanan smiled and said nothing. Meanwhile, the slums. A batch of Xiao Chuan's goods passed through the nearby highway and was intercepted again. There was a gunfight between the two groups. Da. There was constant gunfire and bullets were flying everywhere. After about 10 minutes, it stopped. Your Far South group is such a loser. Your goods were just robbed yesterday, and you dare to come today. Har har, it's another precious medicinal herb. This batch of goods is worth at least 50 million. Brothers, we're rich. Huh, everyone cheered. Brothers, you did a great job. Today we're going to have some meat. It's my treat, boss. Hey, boss, you don't know, there's a new person in the alley, a young woman with a great body. Okay, I'll play with her today, lead the way. Yes, boss. In the alley, in an old brick house, Zhang Lingyu and her daughter were hiding in the house, shivering. Bang! The wooden door was violently kicked open. Zhang Lingyu hugged her daughter and screamed in fear. Oh, buy one get one free, and there's also a little beauty, so pretty. Brother, this is her daughter, her name is Xiao Yu. The younger brother smiled and flattered. Uncle Jianjun, why are you like this? Lin Xiao Yu couldn't believe that this uncle next door was actually a bad uncle. Normally, their family often sends homemade food to Uncle Jianjun. I'm sorry, Xiao Yu, uncle has long wanted to play with your tender body. You are so charming. If I can't play with you once, I will regret it for the rest of my life. Jianjun licked his lips while speaking, making no effort to hide his desire. The gang leader was surprised because he had never played with mother and daughter before. Just try it today. Lin Xiao Yu and her daughter were so frightened that their faces turned pale. Zhang Lingyu said, I can accompany you, but can you let my daughter go? She hid a pair of scissors under her pillow. As long as you dare to be alone with her, she will find a way to kill people. Stop talking nonsense, I want both, I want to play slowly. The boss said. Da. Gunshots were heard outside. Well. Accompanied by violent screams. Chapter 9 I'm in love with your daughter. The screams got closer, coming from just outside the door. I saw two silver shadows flashing back and forth, like the god of death reaping lives everywhere. Xiao Chu Nan, Suanan, and a group of his men strode into their house. Swish, swish, swish. As soon as he entered the house, Jijibao led his men upstairs and controlled the skeleton gang leader and his core members. Spare my life, the gang leader was pointed at with a gun and begged for mercy in fear. You are Xiao Chu Nan. When Zhang Lingyu saw this man, her body trembled. Unexpectedly, the person who appeared like a hero and came to save her was not her husband. But it is a piece of waste that you throw away. But there were people holding guns around him. Presumably, he is also involved in underground forces. Thinking of this, Zhang Lingyu's inner shock disappeared and was replaced by disdain. The underground forces are all villains, and they are at the bottom of the society. After so many years, he still hasn't changed his bad habits. Xiao Chu Nan, don't think that I will be grateful to you just because you saved me, she said with disgust. Xiao Chu Nan was too lazy to pay attention to her and ordered his men. All executed on the spot. Yes. Jijibao took everyone out and executed them directly. Hearing the gunshots outside, Lin Xiao Yu knew that the group of people must have been killed. She lowered her head and leaned in her mother's arms, not daring to look at Xiao Chu Nan at all. She had experienced the dominance of this man. Thinking about it now still makes me feel scared. Thinking of last night, her pretty face turned slightly red. After all these years, you haven't changed at all. You're still so self-righteous. Xiao Chu Nan finally spoke. Because I have stood at the top of the social pyramid. Although I fell down, I was glorious. And you are always at the bottom, and now you are even involved in underground forces. In the final analysis, you are just a bigger gangster. Do you think that by doing this, you can make me change my opinion of you? Can make me regret it? Ridiculous. Zhang Lingyu sneered coldly. You've read too many novels, right? I'll make you regret it. And then chase your husband to the crematorium. Sorry, I don't like to play games like chasing wives and husbands to the crematorium with you. That's too stupid. If I want you, I can get you directly. Xiao Chu Nan was made to laugh by her. You. Zhang Lingyu finally realized her situation. She was now the fish and others were the butchers. If he wanted her, it would only take a word, and his men would hold her firmly. But don't worry, you are indeed beautiful, and your figure has become much fuller. However, no matter how beautiful you are, I have nothing but disgust towards you. Your daughter is pretty good, though. Tell me, if I take your daughter down, will your coward husband Lin Hao be defeated? Har har har. Xiao Chu Nan laughed wildly. Zhang Lingyu's face changed and she stood in front of her daughter. I'm warning you, don't even think about taking advantage of my daughter, or I won't let you go. Xiao Chu Nan waved his hand. Two men stepped forward, each grabbed one of Zhang Lingyu's arms, pulled her away, and held her down. Can you stop me? Xiao Chu Nan walked forward and looked down at her, his deep eyes filled with ruthlessness. Let me go. Zhang Lingyu struggled violently. Xiao Chu Nan ignored her and turned to Lin Xiao Yu and shouted coldly. Come over. Lin Xiao Yu walked up to him tremblingly. Xiao Chu Nan hugged her. No. It was Zhang Lingyu who cried out, with a pleading look on her face, please don't touch my daughter. I can accompany you as compensation, okay? I don't like rotten meat. Even though you are beautiful, you are just a beautiful exterior with rotten inside. Xiao Chu Nan didn't even look at her. He pinched the beautiful girl's delicate chin and lifted up her pretty and delicate little face. She's so beautiful. I never get tired of looking at her. Wow, Lin Hao really gave birth to a good daughter. I beg you, don't touch my daughter. Zhang Lingyu begged desperately. Now you know how to beg me. Xiao Chu Nan finally looked at her. When I was beaten that year, you looked very happy. Zhang Lingyu cried and apologized. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I apologize to you, please don't touch my daughter, please. Mom. Lin Xiao Yu was heartbroken. She looked at her mother begging with tearful eyes. She glared at Xiao Chu Nan resentfully. She hated this man. Crocodile tears. Xiao Chuan said coldly. Master, the goods have been counted. The subordinates came in to report. Yeah. Xiao Chu Nan responded and let go of Lin Xiao Yu in his arms. Forget it. I don't like bullying people either. I'll let you go this time. We'll have plenty of time to play slowly in the future. Thank you, thank you. Zhang Lingyu thanked. Let's go. Xiao Chuan led his men away. Walking out of the house, Su Ainan asked, Boss Xiao, why did you let that person go when she treated you like that? Xiao Chu Nan replied calmly. Wait until Lin Hao comes back, and then we'll play slowly. I want him to watch me play with his daughter and his wife. That way, it's fun. Su Ainan shuddered. This man was so scary. What happened back then made him a devil. The culprit is Lin Hao. It was Lin Hao who suffered retribution. You reap what you sow. Xiao Yu, are you okay? Zhang Lingyu hugged her baby daughter. Mom, I'm fine. Luckily that villain didn't do anything to you, otherwise I would have fought him. Zhang Lingyu breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Xiao Yu felt sad. Mother, I have been treated like that by him. It's just that you don't know it. When your father comes back, I'll make him suffer. How dare you set your sights on you, humph? Zhang Lingyu has already thought about how to take revenge. This time, Lin Hao went abroad not to avoid debt, but to seek help to help the Lin family revive. Zhang Lingyu has great confidence in her husband. He will definitely be able to revive the Lin family and restore the glory of the Lin chaebol. At that time, she was the high and mighty Mrs. Lin again. Ding dong. Lin Xiao Yu's cell phone rang. She took a look and saw that it was a message from Xiao Chu Nan. She quickly turned off the screen, not daring to let her mother see it. Mom, I'm going back to my room to rest. Lin Xiao Yu hurried back to her room. Open WeChat. Xiao Chu Nan's content is. Send some selfies, some revealing ones. Far South Group, warehouse. Xiao Chu Nan is counting the supplies. Not much was gained from the slums, they were all the medicinal herbs that were robbed. The Qinglong society has many treasures. Tiger skin, tiger bones, ginseng, jade, gold, banknotes. Of course the most important are the killer sisters, both of whom are very skilled and sexy. This is the biggest gain of this trip. What is this? A piece of mutton fat jade was found in the box. It feels very smooth and warm. This is Lingyu. Leng Rushuang recognized it at the first sight. It's actually the legendary spiritual jade. How could Zhu Shoshan have it? Xiao Chuanan was surprised. Even a big boss like me can't get this kind of thing. He is a gang leader, but he owns it. Humph, do you think Zhu Shoshan is a gangster? He is an outer disciple of Qing Men. I don't know why he doesn't know martial arts. Han Rushue snorted softly. Qing Men. Xiao Chuanan didn't know this force. Of course you don't know. This force is not well known because Qing Men hardly accepts disciples. I heard that Zhu Shoshan's senior sister is the female hero Zhu Yeqing. If this news is true, then you are finished. That woman is very strong and we can't resist her. Han Rushue said. It's okay, I can handle it. Xiao Chu Nan was puzzled, and thought to himself, where is my reward from the system? Ding, congratulations to their host for completing the task. Reward, iron shirt. A stream of memories flooded into Xiao Chuan's mind, and at the same time, his bones all over his body began to crackle. Boss Xiao, what's wrong with you? Su Ainan was frightened by the noise. It's okay. Xiao Chuan twisted his neck to stretch his muscles. I do feel myself getting harder. You can't resist it. Han Rushue said with certainty. I can hold it off. Xiao Chuanan said. You can't stop it. Han Rushue pouted angrily. Do you dare to make a bet? Xiao Chuan became excited. This little girl actually doesn't believe in herself. Let's make a bet. Han Rushue hesitated for a moment. If we win, you'll let us go. If you lose, we sisters will be loyal to you for the rest of our lives. Chapter 10. Let Lin Hao see. Okay, it's a deal. Xiao Chuanan smiled. He was determined to win over this pair of top-notch sisters. It's so beautiful, it would be a pity if it were given to someone else. We can't wait until Zhu Yeqing arrives, so we will start assassinating you tomorrow. Leng Rushuan said. Okay, come on. Xiao Chuan agreed. The two sisters were surprised. Does he really dare to agree? I'm not afraid that he will really kill me. Let me make it clear first, we are serious about this. Leng Rushuang snorted, if you die, you won't have the chance to regret it. Har har, even if you can really kill me, you won't be defeated by me. Xiao Chu Nan smiled slightly and defeated the two sisters with just the mantis fist. Now that I have the iron shirt, they can hurt me even if they win. Humph, we were careless that time. We didn't expect you to be such a master. We sisters are good at assassination. Leng Rushuang was still very unconvinced. Because of that time, I was seen naked. Yes, yes. You were careless and didn't dodge. Then you can come and kill me tomorrow. Xiao Chu Nan said arrogantly. Just you wait. The two sisters left angrily. Soon, they came back. We have nowhere to live, give us a suite. This is the key to my villa. You can pick a room. I'll be back later. Xiao Chuanan threw them a bunch of keys. Thank you. That night, the two sisters checked into Xiao Chuan's villa. They actually chose to live in the basement. You should know that there is only one staircase exit in the basement. Xiao Chuanan then sent Ji Jibao to guard the stairs. Then he went back to the second floor to play with his cell phone. TSK, it's really top-notch, so great. Looking at the photos sent by Lin Xiao Yu, although not very revealing, they are enough to drive all men crazy. If I put the photo on XX website and Lin Hao saw it, he would definitely be defeated. But how can we let Lin Hao see it? The XX website in the world is now controlled by the Ma family abroad. If I build a new website, it will not attract many users. How about acquiring XX? Xiao Chuanan came up with this idea, and then he called Su Ainan and asked her to make contact. After doing all this, Xiao Chuanan washed up and went to bed. As a successful person, he lives a very disciplined life. The next day. Master, something bad has happened. Ji Jibao was extremely anxious, the killer sisters are gone. Gone. Xiao Chuanan was not too surprised. Yes, I was standing guard at the door, but they just disappeared, and I didn't see them go out. I checked the surveillance and didn't see them go out. Ji Jibao looked horrified. You said, they are not ghosts, right? How is that possible? I have measured their body temperatures. Xiao Chuanan couldn't help but reminisce about the two sisters' figures. Then he went to the basement with confusion, but found only a bed, with no trace of the two sisters. I checked the surveillance again, but still found nothing. Hiss, how did they leave? Xiao Chuan's pupils shrank slightly and he was extremely shocked. This method was quite amazing. Could it be possible that they could escape underground? At this time, a small island overseas. Leng Rushuang and Han Rushu dug out a box from under a coconut tree. Take out a silver thread from the box. Sister, are we really going to kill him? After getting the silver thread, Han Rushu asked. Why, you can't bear to let go? Leng Rushuang said. That's not the case. Han Rushu couldn't help feeling embarrassed and annoyed when she thought of that night. He saw them all. But why don't I want to kill him? Schwanger. Master. The two sisters were shocked when they heard this and immediately knelt down to worship. A Taoist nun flashed in the air and appeared in front of the two sisters. The master has a task for you. This time it's an easy task. The Taoist nun flicked her whisk and said. Master, what is the mission? Han Rushua asked. I want you to go to the Middle East and protect a prince. The mission will take 1 year, and the reward is 10 million. You have worked hard in Yangwang over the past few years. You can relax for a while during this mission. The Taoist nun said. Okay, master, but we still have to kill one more person. Once we kill this person, we will follow you. Han Rushua said obediently. It just so happened that the man had offended Zhu Yeking, so he simply killed him and left with his master. Otherwise, if the bamboo leaf green snake comes to kill him, he will be in trouble too. Well, I will go with you, and we will go together when the time comes. Well, it's just another morning. Xiao Chuanan got up and, taking advantage of his good appetite in the morning, poured out a handful of Guifu de Huang pills and a handful of Wuzi Yinzong pills and took them with warm water. Next, I grabbed a handful of wolfberries and put them in the thermos cup, then poured in hot water. People have no choice but to do so when they reach middle age. Bite. Mission, resist the assassination of the killer sisters and subdue them both. Reward, assassination skill mastery. Reward, mastery of Chinese painting skills. Wow, this is pretty good. Xiao Chuanan was delighted. He didn't expect that there was such an artistic skill. I am almost 40 years old, which is the best age to pursue art. When I went downstairs and had breakfast, Su Anan called. Mr. Xiao, the Ma family said that they need 30 billion to acquire XX. I can accept 30 billion, let's buy it. Xiao Chu Nan did not hesitate. To help Lin Hao break down his defense, money was nothing. As long as he could severely torture Lin Hao and his wife, he would not mind losing everything. Yes, Mr. Xiao. Su Anan responded and hung up the phone. Xiao Chu Nan was very satisfied with this secretary. Be efficient and don't drag your feet. A secretary has things to do, but being a boss is about having free time. On this day, the killer sisters disappeared. Until in the evening, when Xiao Chuan got off work. Driving a bulletproof car, he slowly drove into the villa. Laugh. The car's tire suddenly had a flat tire. Not good. Ji Jibao got out of the car quickly. Bang. As soon as he got out of the car, he was kicked and flew out, hitting the flower bed and fainted. Xiao Chuanan was about to get off the car when suddenly, a cold voice sounded in his ears. Don't move. Then, a thread was pressed against his throat. When did you get on the bus? Xiao Chuanan was shocked, he didn't even see it. We won. Leng Rushuan said. No, you haven't won until I die. Xiao Chunan smiled slightly and reached out to pinch her thigh. Leng Rushuan's beautiful eyes spit fire, do you really want to die? Chapter 11, Conquering the Sisters. She didn't want to kill Xiao Chuanan. Because he let himself go last time. I don't want to. Xiao Chuan answered honestly. Then just admit defeat. As long as I'm not dead, I haven't lost. Do you want to die? In no mood. Then admit defeat. I'm not dead yet. You. Leng Rushuan was completely enraged and suddenly pulled out the silver thread and tied it around his arm. With a slight hiss sound, Xiao Chuan's sleeve opened immediately when touched, and the cut was neat and tidy. The silver thread touched her skin and she pulled it gently. However, the expected scene of cutting the skin did not appear. Xiao Chuan's skin turned bronze and was as hard as copper and iron. Iron shirt, impossible. Leng Rushuan's eyes widened and a huge wave of shock rose in her heart. This is actually Shailin's unique martial art, the iron shirt. Iron shirt. Han Rushue was also shocked when she heard this. Interesting. On the roof, the Taoist nun also saw the situation inside the car. Go to hell. Han Rushue rushed into the car, pulled out a dagger and stabbed Xiao Chuanan. With a dong sound, the dagger pierced into a golden light, making a bell-like sound. A layer of golden light shone around Xiao Chuanan's body, condensing into a huge bell that protected him tightly. It's as cold as snow and I can't move forward an inch. Ding, mission accomplished. Achieved, mastery of assassination skills. Mastery of Chinese painting skills. What? The Taoist nun sat up in shock. Iron shirt is fine, but the golden bell cover is also a great achievement. How is this possible? Those abbots can't do it, but this kid actually. The two sisters were also shocked. Leng Rushuan asked. You, how can you have the golden bell cover and iron cloth shirt? You can also use the praying mantis fist. Who are you? Xiao Chunan pinched her snow-white chin and said, join me and I'll tell you. Let me go. Leng Rushuan said angrily. What? You want to default on your debt? Xiao Chuan's face darkened. Can you please let me go first? Leng Rushuan turned her pretty face away, not daring to look him in the eye. This man is so scary when he gets angry, like a raging lion, which makes people terrified. Okay, I'm not afraid that you will default on your debt. Xiao Chuan let her go. Swipe. The two sisters rushed out at once, jumped onto the roof, and stood beside the Taoist nun. Let's go. The Taoist nun was preparing to take the two girls away. Wait. Xiao Chuanan saw the three people were about to leave and called out to them with a gloomy face. My dear friend, do you have anything else to do? The nun looked at him. They have already lost to me, you can't take them away. Xiao Chuanan said. Is there such a thing? The nun looked at her two disciples. Yes, master. Leng Rushuan lowered her head, looking as if she knew she was wrong. Nonsense. The nun shouted coldly, turning to look at Xiao Chunan and said. My friend, these two are my apprentices. I must take them with me. As for the cancellation of your bet, I can compensate you with something. After saying that, he took out a black jade bead and threw it to him. This is the black blood jade bead I carry with me. It has the effect of calming the mind and exorcising evil spirits. Xiao Chu Nan threw it back. How can this thing compare to them? Since I beat them, they are mine, and no one can take them away. My friend, know when to stop. Be careful not to bite off more than you can chew and choke to death. The Taoist nun's face turned cold. Don't worry about that, Taoist priest. If you don't leave the people here, I will have to capture you all. Xiao Chu Nan said very arrogantly. He has mastered assassination skills, combined with mantis fist, golden bell cover and iron cloth shirt, and he is now very powerful. HMPH, so arrogant. The nun flicked her whisk and a stream of powerful energy rolled towards him. Xiao Chu Nan activated the golden bell cover and iron cloth shirt, and the internal energy hit the golden bell outside but did not hurt him. The car behind him was overturned with a loud bang. Hiss! Xiao Chu Nan's scalp tingled. The strength of this Taoist nun was simply unfathomable. Xiao Chu Nan used the ghost step, one of his assassination skills, to climb over the wall and reach the roof in one fell swoop. Ghost step. The Taoist nun was surprised. Who are you to the old ghost who kills the god? How do you know his ghost step? As far as I know, the old man has taken all his skills into the coffin. He, just as the Taoist thought. Xiao Chu Nan smiled slightly. He decided to let the other party make up his mind and he would not explain any more. The explanation will reveal the truth. Since you are the one who kills the gods, I won't make things difficult for you. Schwer and Schwanger, you two can stay for now. The nun flicked her whisk, used her lightness skills to float away, and soon disappeared. Oh my god. Xiao Chuan was stunned. He knew that practitioners would appear after the spiritual energy was revived. But I have never seen such an awesome practitioner. It actually can fly. Hey, are you the apprentice of the god of death? Han Rushua asked blankly. Guess. Xiao Chuan looked at her. Finally I can tell that the lively one is my younger sister Han Rushua. Leng Rushuang is more taciturn and more aloof. Do you want me to guess? Han Rushua rolled her eyes. Guess, do you want to guess? Xiao Chu Nan said. Guess, I don't care whether I guess or not. Han Rushua hit back. Leng Rushuang interrupted the two and said, we sisters will work for you for 3 years. After 3 years, we will leave. Okay. Xiao Chu Nan did not force it, but I require you to protect me closely. Okay. Leng Rushuang said. Hey, are you really the disciple of the god of death? Han Rushua asked without giving up. Guess. How could Xiao Chu Nan dare to answer? He could only respond vaguely. I can't just say it, right? If I get found out, I'll be embarrassed. If I say no, it will be troublesome if that Taoist nun comes back. Xiao Chu Nan could feel that the Taoist nun's attack just now was just a casual one. If she used all her strength, I wouldn't be able to withstand it. But to be honest, that Taoist nun was really beautiful, wearing a Taoist robe and with her long hair loose, like a fairy. You! Han Rushua stomped her feet in anger. Master, here is your invitation. While the two were chatting on the roof, someone walked in from below. Whose is it? Xiao Chu Nan jumped down and took it. It's from the Li family, said the subordinate. Li family? Xiao Chuan frowned. Half a year ago, the Li family actually sent people to burn down their own warehouse during a business competition. This time he invited me to attend the party. I don't know what An is thinking. Chapter 12 Provoking Two Young Masters. The Li family in the capital. Han Rushua glanced at the invitation. Yes. Xiao Chuan nodded. Leng Rushuang said absent-mindedly, the Li family's battle armor is unique in the world. Once, she suffered a loss at the hands of the Li family's armor. It's no joke that the rich rely on technology. Xiao Chuan's inner armor is the result of the rich's technology. The Li family's armor can withstand a full-strength attack from a warrior with internal strength, and is very powerful. At this time, the cell phone rang. It was my subordinate's calling. Master, something bad has happened to Miss Xiao Yu. You, what are you going to do? Wudaoku, Guangnan, the 10th road for the poor, the entrance to the village. Lin Xiao Yu was surrounded by several people. What are you doing? Lin Xiao Yu, have you forgotten something? Yun Cheng looked at her beautiful face, his heart was amazed, but his face had a vicious expression. Didn't I pay back 100 million last time? Lin Xiao Yu was forced into a corner, her delicate body trembling with fear. Your damn father owed 10 billion. And he paid it back with 100 million. Yun Cheng was approaching step by step. He had set his eyes on her for a long time, but he never had the chance. Finally caught her today. Of course not, I'll pay it back, and don't come near me. Lin Xiao Yu screamed in fright. Xiao Yu, I like you so much, why don't you just follow me? Yun Cheng rushed forward, grabbed the girl's snow-white wrist, and spoke with rapid breathing and an urgent tone. You hurt me. Lin Xiao Yu was hurt by his big hand and tears welled up in her beautiful eyes. Help! Lin Xiao Yu shouted loudly. However, passers-by didn't even dare to look over here. Lin Xiao Yu was desperate. It's useless even if you shout at the top of your lungs. Who dares to approach my Yun family's debt collection team? Yun Cheng said proudly. Bang! Suddenly, there was a muffled sound, and then a person came flying like a cannonball, knocking down several people. Oh! Yun Cheng turned his head and saw a tall, thin and handsome man, accompanied by two women in silver clothes, walking towards him quickly. Wherever he went, he punched everyone and was unstoppable. Lin Xiao Yu looked at him with tearful eyes. Even though they are all bad guys. But at least this bad guy is more pleasing to the eye and knows to come and save me. Bang! When he walked up to him, Xiao Chu Nan slapped Yun Cheng hard on the face. R. Yun Cheng was slapped and thrown out. He felt dizzy and it took him a while to recover. He immediately jumped up in anger. How dare you hit me? Come on, kill him. I want him dead. Dozens of his men were all lying on the ground wailing in pain, and they had not recovered at all. You just wait. Yun Cheng knew that something was wrong, so he turned around and ran away. When I reached the intersection, I noticed several luxury cars approaching. Because the road into the slum is very broken. Not to mention asphalt, there is not even any cement road. It is just a bumpy and dilapidated road, and you can only walk in. Li Mingzhi. Seeing the young man getting out of the luxury car, Yun Cheng came up with an idea and walked up to greet him. Hey, Li Mingzhi. Yun Cheng, why are you here? Li Mingzhi was holding flowers and gifts in his hands, and was surprised to see an acquaintance. Hey, I came here to collect debts. Guess who I met? Yun Cheng chuckled and spoke in a mysterious manner. Who? Li Mingzhi asked. The person you like, school beauty Lin, what do you think she is doing? Yun Cheng pretended to be mysterious again. What? She was dating a very handsome man. I saw them holding hands. Yun Cheng said. What? Li Mingzhi got furious when he heard that and flew away. Humph, if you mess with the Li family, you're done. Yun Cheng said sinisterly with a cold smile. Do you want to kill him? Han Rushua asked. No need, he is from the Yun family. The Yun family has some power in Mingyun, so don't touch him for now. Xiao Chu Nan grabbed Lin Xiao Yu's hand. You're so timid and unconscious. Han Rushua became a little bored when she saw how cowardly he was. Are you okay? Xiao Chuan asked the girl. The girl shook her head, it's okay. Come on, accompany me to the party. Xiao Chuan held her little hand. What party? Lin Xiao Yu was led away by the hand. The warm big hands warmed her cold little hands, making her feel full of security. The Li family, a celebrity party. Oh. Have you missed me these past 2 days? Xiao Chu Nan asked. No. She answered, but her little face looked away. How could she not think about it? But it wasn't that kind of thought. Rather, it was thought with hatred. I want him to die. But how could she possibly say it? She also needs this man to help her pay back the money. Don't you want to? Xiao Chuanan pulled her into his arms, then pinched her delicate chin, and was about to kiss her pink little mouth. I'm going to kill you. Li Mingzhi rushed over and saw this scene. His heart was broken and he went berserk. How did he get in? Xiao Chuan frowned. There are people guarding the intersection ahead and no strangers will be allowed in. At this time, Ji Jibao came limping over, his body covered in blood. Sorry master, he is very strong. After saying that, he fell down with a thud and fainted due to excessive blood loss. Stop him, Xiao Chuan ordered. Very strong, just a good opportunity to practice. Han Rushue went forward excitedly, rushing up with quick footsteps. Lin Xiao Yu widened her beautiful eyes. She was kissed by this domineering man. She closed her eyes and accepted her fate. Li Mingzhi saw this and let out a sharp roar. He then attacked Han Rushue indiscriminately like a raging beast. Click! Han Rushue dodged a few times and took the opportunity to grab his arm, exerted a little force, and broke it directly. Li Mingzhi felt pain and became deflated, no longer having the violent energy he had just had. Bang! Han Rushue kicked him again, sending him flying backwards 3 or 4 meters and landing in a mud pit. His whole body was covered in mud and he looked extremely miserable. Xiao Chu Nan left the girl's red lips and said, "This is just a small amount of interest. If you dare not think about me, this is what will happen." After saying that, he took her soft hand and said, let's go to the party and have a buffet." The two walked past Li Mingzhi. When Lin Xiao Yu saw how miserable he was, she just lowered her head and walked past him silently without looking at him. However, Li Mingzhi felt that he had lost all face and his image in the goddess' heart must have plummeted. His heart was filled with hatred, his eyes were sinister, and he stared coldly at Xiao Chuan's back. Back in the car, Xiao Chunan and Lin Xiao Yu were in the back seat. They picked her up and held her in their arms, sitting opposite each other. The most enjoyable thing is to hold this fresh and beautiful girl in your arms and play with her slowly. Xiao Chu Nan's lips curled up slightly. Do you have Lin Hao's contact information? Chapter 13. Why does the dog bark at you? No. Lin Xiao Yu answered simply, looking out the window, not daring to look the man in the eye. She didn't mind being hugged by a man. After all, they had sat facing each other at a distance that night. Really? Xiao Chuan narrowed his eyes. Really not. Lin Xiao Yu finally looked at him, her big black and white eyes showing a bit of timidity. I didn't lie to you. When my father left, my mother and I didn't know. His cell phone was unreachable and we had no idea where he had gone. Xiao Chu Nan smiled when he heard this and said calmly. Your father is such a bastard. He left you guys and ran away after owing billions of dollars in debt. Har har. My dad is not a bastard. Lin Xiao Yu protested in a low voice. To me, he's not only a jerk, but also very hateful. Xiao Chu Nan hugged the girl's slender waist and exclaimed in amazement. What a thin waist. You are such a little foodie but you have maintained such a good figure. You are the bastard. Lin Xiao Yu snorted. In her heart, Xiao Chuan was the biggest bastard. Xiao Chu Nan smiled without saying a word, holding the beautiful girl and playing with her wantonly. Lin Hao, aren't you fucking awesome? Your daughter is in your arms, just let me play with her. 30 minutes later, they arrived at the Su family's Longcheng villa. The party was held here. Xiao Chunan led 3 women in and instantly became the focus of the scene. Damn it, why are you so arrogant? You're about to die. In the corner, a young man whispered jealously. He was Yun Cheng who had suffered a defeat at the hands of Xiao Chunan not long ago. Brother, is that the person you were talking about him? Yunlong, who was wearing a green evening gown next to her, asked. Yes, sister, it's him. Yun Cheng nodded. Yunlong stared at Xiao Chunan. Just at this moment. Woof woof, woof woof. A snow-white puppy ran up and kept barking at Xiao Chunan. Lin Xiao Yu was so scared that she took 2 steps back. She was most afraid of dogs. Some people in the slums kept several big dogs, so she had to take a deep every time she saw them. Yunlong came over and said in a weird tone. Strange, there are so many people here, why did they shout at you? Yun Cheng also said sarcastically, I heard that dogs can see things that people can't see. What do you think, has President Xiao provoked any unclean creatures? When everyone heard this, they all started talking. Yunlong showed a proud look. Xiao Chunan ignored her and walked in with the 3 girls. When passing by the Samoyed puppy, Xiao Chunan turned around and said. Where did this mad dog come from, barking here? Then continue walking inside. Oh tilde. The next second, the Samoyed suddenly screamed, jumped a few times, and then fell down powerlessly, without a breath. My dog. Yun Long screamed, picked up the dog's body, and rushed towards Xiao Chu Nan. You killed my dog, you have to compensate me for my dog. Xiao Chu Nan stood still. Ms. Yun, which I have yours saw me kill your dog. I don't care, you killed my dog. This is a Samoyed, a noble dog from abroad. I bought it for 50,000 euros. You have to compensate me. Yun Long's voice was almost like a scream, very harsh. Longer, don't mess around. An old man frowned and scolded, then raised his goblet to Xiao Chu Nan. Boss Xiao, I apologize on behalf of my granddaughter. Xiao Chu Nan just nodded slightly. Old Yun has a good temper, but your granddaughter doesn't follow you. Grandpa, he killed my dog, he has to compensate me. Yun Long said angrily. Xiao Chu Nan asked, which eye of yours saw me kill your dog? Oh, I heard that dogs can see things that humans can't see. Maybe it was something unclean in me that took action, and you happened to see it, so you are so sure. Yun Long was furious. Who are you calling a dog? I won't attend a party with dogs. The smell of dogs is disgusting. How can I eat? I'm leaving. Xiao Chu Nan sneered and walked towards the door. Nonsense, why don't you apologize to President Xiao? Seeing that he was about to leave, old Yun became anxious and yelled at his granddaughter. I won't. Yun Long said stubbornly. Boss Xiao, wait a minute. Old Su came in and said to the security guard, get her out. Yes. Several security guards came and said politely to Yun Long. Miss Yun, please. You guys. Yun Long didn't dare to provoke old Su. He stamped his feet and quickly walked out carrying the dog's body. Wait a minute. Xiao Chuan stopped her. What else do you want? Yun Long said angrily. You slandered me and haven't apologized yet. Now, apologize to me immediately. Xiao Chu Nan said slowly. Don't go too far. Yun Long gritted his teeth, his face looking so ugly that his facial features were almost distorted. Apologize. Old Su looked at her majestically. Yun Long was about to cry. She bent down to Xiao Chu Nan and said in a sobbing voice, I'm sorry. After saying that, she let out a whimper, covered her face and ran away quickly. She felt so ashamed that she couldn't face anyone again. Sister. Yun Cheng chased out, and when he walked out of the gate, he turned around and gave Xiao Chu Nan a cold look. Mr. Xiao, please come in. Mr. Su invited. Mr. Su, let's make it clear that we're only going to drink tonight and not talk about business. Xiao Chu Nan still had an indifferent look on his face as he led the three girls towards the buffet area. This. Old Su looked embarrassed. It seemed that he had indeed annoyed the other party. I originally wanted to discuss cooperation with the other party. At this time, on the second floor, a young man with his arm in plaster slowly walked out. He saw Xiao Chuanan downstairs and Lin Xiao Yu following him. Damn bitch. Li Mingzhi cursed. Then he looked outside the door and saw a woman in hanfu slowly entering the venue. It was the eldest daughter of the Mo family, Mo Ruyan. Then, he saw Xiao Chuanan walking towards the wine rack. Li Mingzhi immediately said to his men, go get a bottle of ink, and then. Xiao Chuanan walked to the wine rack, took a few bottles of red wine, and hurried back to the dining area. At this time, a beautiful woman wearing hanfu happened to pass by. At this moment, a man holding a bottle of ink rushed towards Xiao Chuanan. Ouch! The man was knocked down and shook his hand intentionally, causing the ink to spill out, some of which fell on the woman's hanfu. Mo Ruyan saw her hanfu, which was splattered with ink and covered in black, and she screamed in pain. Ouch, my clothes, she cried. This is custom made by a master craftsman. It costs 5 million for one piece and is in short supply. Don't you have eyes? It was the man holding the ink who shouted at Xiao Chuanan. The noise attracted everyone. What's going on? Why did Mo Ruyan's clothes turn black? Xiao Chunan bumped into someone and spilled the ink. Hey, isn't that hanfu that Mo Ruyan wears the latest masterpiece of Master Cheng? It's priced at 5 million, and there's no one in stock. It's ruined like this, what a pity. Doesn't Xiao Chunan look at the road when he walks? Why is he in such a hurry? Har, he's in a hurry to get back to the dining area, where 3 stunning beauties are waiting for him. Are you blind? Didn't you see that it was that person who bumped into Mr. Xiao on purpose? You blame Mr. Xiao for everything. I think you are jealous of his talent. It was a little girl with dyed yellow hair who spoke, and she was the only one among the crowd who spoke for Xiao Chu Nan. Chapter 14, Painting Skills Stun the Audience. After hearing Qin Zhaojiao speak, some people shut up. The eldest daughter of the Qin family is not someone you want to mess with. Her brother Qin Ren is a candidate to join the military god temple. Especially Qin Ren is a crazy sister protecting man. Anyone who bullied Qin Zhaojiao was beaten. So what? It's a fact that Miss Mo Ruyan's skirt was stained. Someone said unconvinced. That's right, many people echoed. Lin Xiao Yu also felt a little gloating. This guy finally got into trouble. Let you bully me, huh? Even just now in the car, in front of the two bodyguard sisters, he couldn't help but have sex with her. What a beast. It's just a skirt, Mr. Xiao can just pay Master Cheng to make another one. Qin Zhaojiao said. It's impossible. Every piece of Master Cheng's work is out of print. There is only one. It's impossible to make a second one. Is this true or false? Really? Master Cheng is here. If you don't believe me, go ask him yourself. That's a shame. Everyone was talking about it. Master Cheng saw their commotion and came over. After learning about the situation, he couldn't help but feel sorry. This dress is indeed ruined. Even if this ink is washed off, the dress cannot be completely restored to its whiteness. Mo Ruyan looked at the black spot on her skirt with a sad expression. Pursing her lips, she said softly, "It's okay. Mr. Xiao was careless. I left too hastily." At this moment, everyone started discussing again. Because Xiao Chu Nan was slow to apologize, everyone thought he was very rude. If Miss Mo doesn't mind, I can give you a few strokes and make a change. Xiao Chu Nan finally spoke. Mr. Xiao, are you sure? Mo Ruyan asked softly. Don't worry, I'll compensate you if the painting is not good enough. Xiao Chu Nan was full of confidence and raised his hand. Bring me a brush. Han Rishua snatched the brush from the man who had just collided with Xiao Chu Nan. Here you go. Then he handed it to Xiao Chu Nan. Xiao Chu Nan took it, dipped it in the ink on the ground and started painting. A ball of black was painted by Xiao Chu Nan into a bird. Draw the branches under the bird's feet. Draw plum blossoms on the branches. Then he drew the empty valley, green bamboo, mountains and rivers. A ball of ink that stained the white dress suddenly turned into a vivid and beautiful ink painting. A piece of pure white hanfu becomes a work of art. Everyone was shocked and dumbfounded. This is simply a work of art. It's so beautiful. Boss Xiao also has this skill. This. Mo Ruyan was stunned and covered her mouth to hide her loss of composure. Master Cheng was equally dumbfounded. What a great painting. Mr. Xiao's painting skills are not inferior to those of the ancient painting masters. It's amazing. Good. Mr. Mo clapped his hands in approval. He had just arrived and saw Xiao Chu Nan painting, so he did not disturb him. He waited until the painting was finished, then he could not help but exclaim in amazement. This young man is amazing. Wow, President Xiao is awesome. Qin Zhaojiao also jumped up happily. How is this possible? Li Mingzhi's face fell. I thought I could make Xiao Chuan embarrassed, but I ended up making things difficult for him. Now he has become the focus of the whole audience. This beast has such great painting skills. Lin Xiao Yu was also stunned. She only knew that this guy was a beast and didn't even let her go in the car. I didn't expect he had an artistic side. HMPH, what's the use of being so good at art? Your character is just that bad. Lin Xiao Yu snorted. Can I buy this dress? I don't care how much it costs. Master Cheng asked Xiao Chu Nan. Xiao Chu Nan smiled slightly. The skirt is worn by Miss Mo, you should ask her. After saying that, he walked towards the buffet area with the red wine. Master Cheng, I won't sell this skirt. Mo Ruyan was extremely happy. She had liked this dress to begin with, and now she liked it even more. What a pity. Master Cheng nodded to show his understanding, then walked towards the buffet area and said to Xiao Chu Nan. Mr. Xiao, I would like to invite you to illustrate my work, and we will split the profits 50-50. Everyone was shocked. This is Master Cheng's invitation. As the first ancient costume master in Yangwang, his handmade ancient costumes are in great demand. How many wealthy women want something but cannot get it? Not interested. Xiao Chu Nan refused, then picked up a piece of fish and put it in Lin Xiao Yu's bowl. Eat more, or you won't have energy at night. No, I'm losing weight. Lin Xiao Yu resisted. Let's exercise together to lose weight in the evening. Xiao Chu Nan rubbed her hair. This scene made Li Mingzhi upstairs furious. He was very suspicious that his goddess had been captured. Damn it, I pursued her for 2.5 years, but I couldn't bear to touch her even once, and I protected her very carefully. You are so good, you actually stood up and kicked. Xiao Chu Nan, I want you to die. Li Mingzhi's eyes were filled with deep resentment. Their hatred for a broken arm and a hatred for having one's wife stolen are irreconcilable. Mr. Xiao, can you sign an autograph for me? Qin Jiaojia ran over, holding a book and a pen, and looked at him expectantly. Okay. Xiao Chu Nan took it and quickly wrote down his name. Wow, thank you Mr. Xiao, you are so handsome. Your handwriting is so beautiful. Qin Jiaojia said with a hint of shyness on her pretty face. This made others extremely surprised. How could Xiao Chu Nan be so charming? Those uncles of the same age with beer bellies are extremely jealous. Why are they not liked by lowly girls? You are cute too, but I don't like yellow hair, remember to change it. Xiao Chuan smiled at her. This girl has a round face and delicate features. It's this yellow hair that makes people dislike him. Xiao Chu Nan is an idiot, right? Who dares to say something about Miss Qin's hair color, and dares to order her to change it? Everyone was surprised. Even Miss Qin's family couldn't stop her from dyeing her hair, let alone say a word. Xiao Chu Nan actually gave her the order without knowing the consequences. It can be predicted that in the next second Xiao Chu Nan will have to endure her cold face and scolding. Oh, I'll change it after the party. Qin Jiaojia responded obediently with a sweet smile. Everyone was dumbfounded. What is going on? Miss Qin, this is not right. Why don't you scold him? So he was dumbfounded. He and Qin Jiaojia are very familiar with each other. They are from the same school and are in the same circle. We usually play together. The Qin Jiaojia in front of him was definitely not the Qin Jiaojia he knew. Scold your mother. Qin Jiaojia turned around and attacked Su He frame. It's just right. Su He felt very comfortable. This was the Qin Jiaojia he knew. Jiaojia, why are you swearing again? Girls should be more polite. A tall and strong man came over. It was her brother, Qin Ren. Brother, why are you here? Qin Jiaojia smiled even more brightly, walked over and took her brother's arm. Let me introduce you, this is my idol, Mr. Xiao Chu Nan. Hello, my name is Qin Ren. Qin Ren had heard about Xiao Chuan's deeds a long time ago. He opposed his sister's star chasing. But since the person he was chasing was a legend, he had no objection. Hello. Xiao Chuan shook hands with him. Qin Ren, did you destroy the Qinglong society? Su He walked over and asked. What? The Azure Dragon Society was destroyed by Qin Ren. I was wondering what happened. The Azure Dragon Society mysteriously disappeared recently. It has to be Qin Ren, a candidate for the Dragon Palace. He is very capable and can easily destroy a gang. Everyone flatters. The sisters Han Rushue and Leng Rushuan had no expression on their faces. Xiao Chu Nan stood up and went to the dining area to order more food. He was still not full. You should eat more tonight so that you will have strength to work at night. It's not me. Qin Ren shook his head unexpectedly. Yes, I killed it. A handsome man with a somewhat unruly look walked in. He saw Lin Xiao Yu who was eating. Then he walked straight towards her. Brother Wang Liu. Lin Xiao Yu was surprised to see him. Chapter 15 Wang Liu's pretend failed. Sister Xiao Yu, did you miss me? When Wang Liu saw her, he was in a good mood. He walked up to her, smoothed his hair handsomely, and then sat down next to her. Yeah. Lin Xiao Yu nodded obediently and said in a cute voice, I thought about it. Wang Liu, how is it possible that you destroyed the Qinglong society? I don't believe it. No one believed it. Wang Liu, how much do you weigh, don't we know? Su He said disdainfully. So you don't believe it? Wang Liu was not panicked. He looked at Lin Xiao Yu and said in a gentle and magnetic voice, Sister Xiao Yu, do you believe me? Well, I believe you. Lin Xiao Yu unconditionally believes in her beloved brother. The two grew up together and he had never lied to himself. It doesn't matter if the whole world doesn't believe me, as long as you believe me, Xiao Yu. Wang Liu smiled slightly, took out a dragon head badge, and said to everyone, "Look what this is, the dragon head badge hanging in the loyalty hall of Qinglong Villa. I have captured this thing, which is enough to prove that Qinglong will be destroyed by me." When everyone saw the badge, they were shocked. This is indeed the emblem of the Qinglong society. It seems that the Qinglong society was indeed destroyed by Wang Liu. Well done, Prince Wang, for ridding the people of harm. Damn it, the Qinglong society robbed us of 30 tons of supplies this year and collected protection fees from our stores. My company lost billions. It's a good thing they destroyed it. Listening to everyone's praise, Wang Liu just kept a smile on his face. Brother Wang Liu, you are so awesome. Lin Xiao Yu's beautiful eyes were full of stars and her face was full of admiration. It's just a small thing. Wang Liu was instantly proud. Xiao Chu Nan came back with the ingredients, but he did not return to his original seat. Instead, he sat down in the seat in front of Lin Xiao Yu. Hearing Wang Liu's words, he couldn't help but smile. He really couldn't help it. How does this guy manage to brag so seriously? He is so shameless. What are you laughing at? Brother Wang Liu is much stronger than you. You destroyed the slum forces, but he destroyed the powerful Qinglong society. Lin Xiao Yu was unhappy. How dare this beast laugh at her beloved brother? Sister Xiao Yu, don't say that. It's already amazing that President Xiao can destroy the forces in the slums. Wang Liu said with pretended magnanimity. You still have to be a prince, be magnanimous, damn Xiao Chu Nan, if he has done something, don't look down on others. That's right, what a joke. You wiped out an armed group in the slums, and you really think you're so awesome. That is. Everyone sneered and laughed. Qin Jiaojia was furious and cursed. A bunch of idiots. These words instantly ignited everyone's anger. Qin Jiaojia, who are you scolding? Did we say anything wrong? You only know how to defend your pigeons, you brainless fan. It's hopeless. Qin Jiaojia snorted, you are idiots, a bunch of idiots. You just believe whatever others say. Do you really think that Qinglong will be destroyed by Wang Liu? They have produced the evidence. Who else could have done it if not Wang Liu? Someone was not convinced. Qin Jiaojia snorted disdainfully. TSK, that evidence is bullshit. Qinglong Villa is already abandoned. Anyone can go in and get some evidence. Then she said to her brother, Brother, weren't your people there at the scene that day? Bring us some evidence. Qin Ren nodded, although I didn't destroy the Qinglong society, I do know who did it. As he said that, he took out a memory card and looked at Su He. Master Su, can I borrow your projector? No problem. Su He operated it himself. Soon, the projector started playing images. A convoy appeared on the screen. Far South Group. Everyone was surprised to see the big words on the SUV. When Wang Liu saw the solid evidence, he knew he was about to be exposed and became extremely panicked. In the next shot, gunshots are heard inside. The next shot is the car coming out of the villa. Everyone, this was taken by my people on the scene on the day when the Qinglong society was destroyed. On that day, only President Xiao's convoy entered Qinglong Villa. The answer is obvious. Prince Wang is bragging. Qin Renyu said this, glancing at Wang Liu with contempt, his eyes filled with deep disdain. Upon learning the result, Lin Xiao Yu was also stunned. She didn't expect that her beloved brother would lie to her. Xiao Yu, Wang Liu wanted to apologize. Go away. Lin Xiao Yu turned her head away and ignored him. Wang Liu, you are really good. You dare to take all the credit for yourself. You are amazing. Su He sneered. Awesome. I believed all that bullshit. I have to admit that Mr. Wang is a very good braggart. It's appropriate to call him a braggart. Har har, it has to be Mr. Xiao. He does things without saying a word. Yes. Everyone began to compliment Xiao Chu Nan. It's just a small achievement to eliminate harm for the people. There's nothing to brag about. Xiao Chu Nan smiled calmly while eating oysters and drinking wolfberry juice. This is fresh wolfberry juice airlifted from Ning City. There will be a big battle in the evening, so he needs to replenish his energy. Hearing him say this, Wang Liu felt even more embarrassed. Lin Xiao Yu ignored him too. Everyone pointed at him. Wang Liu felt like he couldn't stay any longer. Sister Xiao Yu, I'm leaving first. I'm sorry. After saying that, he quickly slipped away. Xiao Chu Nan was amused and said to her, "This is your boyfriend. He's not that great, a little pretentious. Do you like him? What's it to you?" Lin Xiao Yu said angrily. "Since I am very dissatisfied with your performance, I will punish you to accompany me until dawn tonight. Also, I won't help you pay back this month's money. If it's the same next month, I won't help you either." Xiao Chu Nan suddenly became indifferent. "Why are you like this?" Lin Xiao Yu almost fainted when she heard this. "If I don't pay back the money this month, my mother will be harassed to death in the slums. And that group of people really dared to come to school to find me. Humph, you know you need help, but you still dare to treat me like that. I don't owe you anything." Xiao Chu Nan said coldly. But I let you do that." Lin Xiao Yu lowered her voice, fearing that others would hear her. Little did she know, these words were clearly transmitted through the monitor and into Li Mingzhi's headphones. Bang! R. Li Mingzhi was so angry that he turned his bowl upside down on the table. Then he stood up and overturned the table. It was just speculation before. Hearing the goddess say this, I was 100% sure. My goddess was dumped. The person who kicked her was Xiao Chu Nan. I want you to die. Go, send out 15 people to guard Xiao Chu Nan's way back. Make sure to kill him for me. Li Mingzhi's eyes were red and bloodshot as he gave orders to the man in black beside him. Yes, master. If it weren't for me, I wouldn't even bother with your shit. After eating, Xiao Chu Nan wiped his mouth, drank the last sip of wolfberry juice, and stood up. We should go now. We didn't have enough fun just now. Let's take our time tonight. Chapter 16 Defeat the Bamboo Leaf Green. After coming out of the manor and getting in the car, Xiao Chu Nan hugged Lin Xiao Yu's soft body. The car started and drove away slowly. At the intersection, there was a Bugatti sports car parked. Wang Liu was sitting in the driver's seat playing with his cell phone. Seeing the car coming, he turned his head and looked through the open window, and saw a somewhat familiar profile. Xiao Yu. Wang Liu was a little unsure. No, it's not her. If it was Xiao Yu, how could she be in a man's arms? My Xiao Yu is the purest and won't mess around. At this moment, his cell phone vibrated and a message came. Click on the voice message. Brother Wang, Xia Donghai is here again, hurry to Akina Mountain to compete. Here I come. Wang Liu immediately started the sports car and sped away from the road on the right. This road leads into the mountains, and the one on the left leads into the city. Xiao Chu Nan took the road on the left, and soon 2 cars followed him. The killer sisters were driving in front and had already noticed the situation behind them. There are 2 cars following us. Leng Rushuan said. Suddenly, lights came on in front and spikes appeared on the ground. With a click, Leng Rushuan braked suddenly. Kill them all. Xiao Chu Nan took a look and gave a light order. Then, holding the girl's pretty face, he continued to play the kissing game with her. The killer sisters got out of the car. Dressed in silver, they stood out in the dark night. When they move, they are as fast as cheetahs. Just like 2 white ghosts, they quickly harvested the lives of more than a dozen people. The scene was a tragic one. Sir, I failed. A man in black returned to the manor to report. Li Mingzhi's face turned pale. Where did they go? Ms. Lin and Mr. Xiao's car entered the White Swan Hotel. The subordinate said. Li Mingzhi clenched his fists tightly, his fingernails digging deeply into his flesh. At the hotel. He could imagine that his goddess was being kicked at this moment. Xiao Chu Nan, I won't let you go. Dare to touch my woman. I will definitely cut off your kun with my own hands. Li Mingzhi was angry, then turned on his computer, entered the dark web, found an organization called Qingmen, and contacted its customer service. Dear, do you want to kill someone? The customer service asked. Li Mingzhi, yes. Customer service, dear, we have 6 killer products for you to choose from. Just place an order if you like them. Then, he directly placed an order for a one-hit kill product. In the product, there are 6 characters to choose from. Bamboo Pit Viper, Round-Spotted Viper, Sharp-Nosed Pit Viper, Black Mamba, Taipan, and I King. Li Mingzhi thought about it and chose Bamboo Leaf Green. She is good at swordsmanship, hiding, assassination, and most importantly, she lives in seclusion in Yanwang. Li Mingzhe wanted to kill Xiao Chuan as quickly as possible. 1 second later, he would kick the goddess for 1 more second. It's not that he can't accept a 90% new goddess. If he was kicked around for a few more months and became 80% new, he wouldn't be able to accept it. In the end, he paid 70 million. Then he provided some information about the person he wanted to kill. Xiao Chu Nan, you're dead. Li Mingzhe grinned. But when he thought about his goddess being kicked, his smile suddenly disappeared and he felt heartbroken. Damn, I haven't even tasted her yet, Xiao Yu, my Xiao Yu. At this time, in a remote little bar called Qingzhou Bar, in the north of the city. Sitting at the bartender, a beautiful woman in green took out her cell phone. It's really troublesome to get an order at this time. Xiao Chu Nan, it's him. Although Zhu Shoushan and I are not familiar with each other, he is my junior fellow apprentice after all. If you kill him, you will have to pay the price. Boss, what kind of wine do you have? At this time, guests came, a group of young people from society. Zhu Yeking took a look at the wisp at the door and understood. I have cocktails, beer, fruit wine, white wine, and medicinal wine here, said Zhu Yeking. A bar sells medicinal liquor. This group of young people seemed a little surprised to hear this. Aphrodisiac wine, kidney tonifying wine, spleen strengthening wine, liver protecting wine, which one do you want? Zhu Yeking asked. Drinking alcohol hurts the liver, but medicinal wine protects the liver. That's interesting. Let's have a little of each, and a cold dish. This group of young people ordered food. Okay. Zhu Yeking gave the order to the kitchen, then turned around and got some wine from the wine rack. A young man stared at her perfect figure, especially her perky butt, and couldn't help but whistling. Boss lady, do you have a boyfriend? Got it. Zhu Yeking said. Fuck, who is so lucky? The young man was jealous. He loved this but so much and wondered who was so lucky to be able to play with her butt. Madam Boss, do you mind having one more? The young man asked with a smirk. Boy, do you want to die? A muscular man stood up from the seat next to him and glared at him ferociously. The young man's face changed drastically. Long, brother Long. Then he quickly apologized. I'm sorry, brother Long, I didn't know she was your woman, I'm sorry. Bang. The big man knocked him down and said, if you keep saying that, I'll kill you. Forget it, Xiao Long. Zhu Yeking said. Yes, boss. Brother Long stopped immediately and warned the young man harshly, remember, if you dare to mess with the boss again, I will kill you. Yes, I don't dare anymore. The young man was frightened out of his wits. His companion was so frightened that he hid aside like a quail, not daring to speak. Shit, Brother Long, the famous guy on West Street, is actually this woman's younger brother. Who is this woman? Countless speculations flashed through their minds of this group of young people. The next day. The gate of Xiao Chuan's villa. Ding dong. He was dressed in green, with long hair loose, and standing with a sword in his arms. Zhu Yeking was standing at the door and pressed the doorbell. Soon, a woman came out and asked. Who are you looking for? Is Mr. Xiao here? Zhu Yeking asked. Mr. Xiao hasn't come back since last night. If you want to find him, you may have to wait until noon. The nanny said. Boom boom. Just at this moment, the sound of a car was heard. A bulletproof car drove slowly over. Mr. Xiao is back. The nanny immediately opened the door. The car stopped at the door, and Xiao Chuan was about to get out when suddenly the system's voice sounded in his mind. Bite. Issued mission, defeat the green bamboo leaf green snake. Reward, Lingbo microwave. Top level Qinggong Lingbo Weibu. Xiao Chuanan was surprised. Wait, bamboo leaf green. Hearing this name, Xiao Chuan thought of something. Isn't he this one of Qingmen's 6 killers? Could it be this woman? Looking at her figure, it is absolutely perfect. Long flowing hair, slender waist, and big and perky butt. She was wearing a green dress, as stunning as a fairy in a painting. Xiao Chuanan swallowed his saliva. Even though he had experienced a great battle last night and was now as sacred as a Buddha, he couldn't help but develop admiration for this woman. Miss, who are you looking for? Xiao Chuanan got out of the car, as he was afraid that he would not be able to move freely in the car and might be ambushed by this woman. Zhu Yeking took out a round jade pendant, which emitted a faint glow. She asked indifferently. Is my junior brother in your villa? Chapter 17, Hugging the Female Killer. Oh, what's your junior brother's name? Xiao Chu Nan asked knowingly. He is the leader of the Azure Dragon Society. I am his senior sister Ju Yeking. I have a connection with the jade pendant in his hand. He is right here. Ju Yeking said that she just wanted to know where her junior brother was, otherwise there was no need to ask more questions. Oh, you mean that guy? I have killed him and thrown his body into the sea to feed the fish. Xiao Chu Nan smiled slightly. What? Ju Yeking thought that he would bury his junior brother. I didn't expect that he actually threw it into the sea. I can't even collect the body from my junior fellow apprentice. You, damn it. Ju Yeking was filled with murderous aura, and a surge of internal energy was released, causing her hair and clothes to flutter in the wind. With a clang sound, the sharp sword flew out of the sword so fast that it disappeared and instantly hit Xiao Chuan's throat. One sword to the throat. Seeing this move, Lin Rushuang and Han Rushu were surprised. She was indeed as powerful as the rumor said. He. Xiao Chu Nan activated the iron shirt. The skin and flesh on his body were as hard as iron and could not be cut at all. Ju Yeking pulled the sword, but there was no wound on Xiao Chuan's throat. How is that possible? Ju Yeking's pretty face changed slightly. This is the iron shirt. Then she recognized this unique martial art. Isn't this Shailin's unique martial art? Could it be that he is a lay disciple of Shaolin? Miss Killer, you should have used your honey trap on me, maybe you could have succeeded. Xiao Chu Nan suddenly grabbed her. HMPH. Ju Yeking snorted and suddenly flew into the air. It was her Qingmen's light skill, flying on bamboo. She quickly climbed to the third floor of the villa and looked down at Xiao Chu Nan from above. Don't be complacent, I'll come again. After saying that, he turned around and wanted to leave. Want to leave? Xiao Chu Nan used the ghost step, one of his assassination skills, and climbed up in one go. Just as Ju Yeking jumped up and was about to leave, Xiao Chu Nan climbed up and grabbed one of its feet and pulled it hard. R. The bamboo leaf green snake fell directly to the ground and screamed in pain. She never dreamed that this man would be able to climb walls. Although ghost step is not a light kung fu, it is a climbing technique summarized by foreign street climbing masters. It can move up and down freely in complex terrain. In the blink of an eye, Ju Yeking shot an arrow from his sleeve. There was a bang, as if hitting a solid wall. The energy on Xiao Chu Nan's body condensed into a huge bell. Golden bell cover. Seeing that this was another unique skill, Ju Yeking was desperate. She really has no backup plan. Ms. Zhu, how do you think I should punish you? When Xiao Chu Nan saw her closing her eyes in despair, he couldn't help but smile wickedly. He lifted her chin and let him admire her beautiful face. The mission failed. You can kill me or chop me up if you want, but just don't hand me over to the Yanghuan authorities. Ju Yeking accepted his fate, his tone was devoid of emotion and vitality. There is no greater sorrow than a dead heart. Are you here to kill me for revenge on Takamoriyama? Xiao Chu Nan interrogated. Yes, and not entirely, she said truthfully. Oh? I'd like to hear the details. Xiao Chu Nan said. Someone hired me to kill you, for one thing. To avenge my junior brother is the second. Although I am not familiar with my junior brother, he is my junior brother after all. If you kill him, I will not kill you, but my master will kill you. Ju Yeking said. Do you know who the employer is? Xiao Chuan asked. I don't know. He is a VIP user of the dark web and all his information is confidential, she said. Okay, but I want to borrow your spiritual jade. Excuse me, Miss Zhu. Mind clearer. Xiao Chu Nan used a unique skill he created, then reached into the woman's clothes and groped around. R. Ju Yeking screamed, what are you doing? Found it. Xiao Chuan took out a jade pendant. I have 2 pieces of spiritual jade in my hand, which can be placed in the ice coffin to nourish my sister's body. If you want this, just tell me. Ju Yeking said with shame and anger that he had touched her body all over. Now you are the fish and I am the butcher. What's wrong with me touching my fish? Xiao Chu Nan smelled his palm, looking intoxicated. Kill me if you want. How can you be a man if you only know how to humiliate me? Ju Yeking said angrily. Why would I want to kill you? You're so beautiful, it would be a pity to kill you. Wouldn't it be better if I imprisoned you and played with you slowly? Xiao Chu Nan raised the corner of his mouth and stroked her fair face with his big hands. There is not a trace of makeup powder, and the skin is white with a faint redness, as if it can be blown away. Xiao Chu Nan discovered that all the girls he met recently were stunning beauties. What was going on? Could it be that after he defeated Lin Xiao Yu, the gears of his destiny started turning again? Pervert, devil. Upon hearing this, Zhu Yeqing was so frightened that her pretty face turned pale. I am not afraid of death, but I am afraid of living in humiliation. Devil, I like this title. Xiao Chu Nan smiled evilly, leaned down, pinched her delicate chin, and directly blocked her rosy lips. Zhu Yeqing widened his beautiful eyes, unable to believe that he was one of the top killers in the world. I was forcefully kissed today. Oh my god, this guy, that's the top killer Bamboo Leaf Green, and you actually hugged her and chewed her. On the rooftop of the security building opposite, sisters Lin Rushuan and Han Rushu were watching. They were also stunned when they saw Xiao Chuan forcefully kissing Zhu Yeqing. He's a killer. Who dares to hug and bite a killer? And it is the dreaded Bamboo Leaf Green Viper. I'm afraid the only one who dares to do this is Xiao Chu Nan. I'm going to kill you. At this moment, their lips parted and the green Bamboo Leaf Green frog burst out. Xiao Chu Nan was not impatient. He took out a pill and put it in his mouth, then lowered his head and kissed her again. Oh, what did you feed me? Zhu Yeqing swallowed a pill in a daze and suddenly became panic-stricken. Xiao Chu Nan finally let her go. It's nothing, just poison. You ate it too? Zhu Yeqing said. I have the antidote. Xiao Chu Nan took out a small bottle, opened it and drank it. Then he explained, this is a poison I specially made. Those who take it must take the antidote every 7 days, otherwise the lower body area will fester. What kind of poison is this? It's so vicious. Zhu Yeqing was so frightened that his face turned pale. For the next period of time, you will work for me. I will not treat you unfairly. Also, I believe you can find out who hired you. I want to see his head within 3 days. You go now. After saying that, Xiao Chuan let her go. Zhu Yeqing quickly got up and tidied her clothes and messy hair. If I help you kill your employer, will you give me the antidote? No. If you want to kill me, you should be prepared to be captured. Besides, you are so beautiful, and I haven't tasted you yet, so how can I bear to let you go? Xiao Chu Nan smiled slightly. You are such a beast. Zhu Yeqing cursed. Go ahead. I'll wait for your good news. If I hadn't consumed too much energy last night, I would have eaten you tonight. Xiao Chu Nan went downstairs. It's no longer possible when you reach middle age. Go and make up for it quickly. The Bamboo Leaf Green snake left. As soon as she left, the system sounded a prompt. Bite. Complete the mission and defeat Zhu Yeqing. Get the reward, top-level light skill Lingbo Weibu. Suddenly, a muscle memory, a set of footwork memory, and a surge of energy were generated in Xiao Chuan's body at the same time. He learned the light footsteps. Hey, cool. Xiao Chu Nan was in a good mood and decided to have a good meal tonight. So I went into the kitchen and started preparing dinner. Add beef brisket, black beans, pig tail, coccyx and pork kidney into the casserole and simmer over low heat. Add mutton and sustanche desaticular to another pot and cook into a soup. I also made a cup of freshly squeezed wolfberry juice. Nyo Dali has the effects of strengthening yang, nourishing the kidney and replenishing deficiency. According to Shannon's Herbal Classic, sustanche can strengthen yin and improve essence, making one fertile. For Xiao Chu Nan, who is in his middle age, it is the best tonic. At this time, the cell phone rang. Hello. Master, I'm sorry, I failed to protect Miss Lin. The Yun family is too strong. Where are you? Xiao Chuan asked anxiously. Chapter 18 Beating Yunlong. Yes, in the hotel. I'll be right there. Xiao Chuanan asked the nanny to watch the fire, then he drove out quickly. At this time, the hotel. Yunlong, what do you want? Lin Xiao Yu was in the toilet and was blocked by several girls. Outside the toilet, there were several big men in suits guarding it, and a female bodyguard was lying on one side. She was Xiao Chuan's man. Her face was covered in blood and she fainted after making the call. Bang! Yunlong slapped Lin Xiao Yu in the face and spat at her. It's you and that old fellow Lin Hao who are bullying me. Do you think it's great to cling to the thighs of a rich man? That old fellow surnamed Xiao is not even worthy of carrying shoes for my Yun family. Lin Xiao Yu was bullied, tears welled up in her eyes, she covered her face and lowered her head, crying. I don't. No. Yunlong chuckled, I'm sure you're not a virgin anymore. I dare say you've definitely done it with that old man. You are slandering me. Lin Xiao Yu immediately became anxious and wanted to refute. Do you dare to take off your pants so I can check? Yunlong said again. Lin Xiao Yu lowered her head and dared not respond. Bitch. Yunlong cursed, it's a good thing that my brother still likes you. I really don't know what's so good about you. How dare you team up with that old man to bully me? I'm going to make you eat shit. Sisters, strip her naked. Several women are about to take action against Lin Xiao Yu. Don't come over here. Lin Xiao Yu was so scared that he retreated repeatedly and was forced into a corner. Get out of here. Xiao Chuan's voice rang out, followed by two muffled sounds. Bang bang. Several big men outside were knocked down. Xiao Chu Nan's tall figure appeared and saw Lin Xiao Yu with disheveled hair and a disheveled appearance. Xiao Chu Nan was angry. I bullied her so badly last night, but it was nothing like the way this group of people humiliated her. What a beautiful girl. I can't bear to humiliate her like this. Get out of here. Xiao Chuan came up and punched hard. Bang. Bang. Ouch. Don't hit me. The group of women suddenly panicked. Wow, Lin Xiao Yu was still crying, and she felt better when she saw Xiao Chu Nan coming. There was saliva on Lin Xiao Yu's hair and her clothes were torn apart a lot. Xiao Chu Nan said to her, go back to your room, leave this to me. Yeah. Lin Xiao Yu agreed, stood up and left quickly. Old thing. Yunlong's eyes were blazing with fire as he stared at him fiercely. Bang. Xiao Chu Nan attacked ruthlessly and slapped her delicate face. Yunlong screamed in pain. The huge force knocked her sideways. She lost her balance and fell to the ground. Bang. Bang. Xiao Chu Nan was still not satisfied and kicked her hard. Yunlong screamed. With a crack, Xiao Chu Nan broke her arm bones because he kicked too hard. Stop hitting me, or I'll die. Several girls stepped forward and tried to stop Xiao Chu Nan. Xiao Chu Nan raised his fist and punched the girls hard. In a few seconds, all the girls were knocked down. Afterwards, Xiao Chuan took out a knife, walked towards Yunlong, and slashed her face dozens of times. Next, shave off her eyebrows. Don't you like gossiping? I'll cut off your tongue and see how you talk. Yunlong's face was filled with fear and his eyes were full of pleading. Xiao Chu Nan turned a blind eye. Pull out her tongue and cut it off with a knife. Okay, you can take her to the hospital. After doing this, Xiao Chuan put away the knife and left. Yunlong's sisters panicked when they saw this and rushed her to the hospital. If you do this, you will be wanted. As soon as she walked out of the bathroom, Han Rushue, with her arms folded and leaning against the wall, said to him. The ground had been cleaned up by her and the female bodyguard was sent to the hospital. Xiao Chu Nan said, the world is in chaos now, do you think the big shots will care about these small chaos? Gaowu Blue Star is in another period of chaos. Of course, there are official organizations such as Shenhuang to control warriors. And the effect is pretty good. But it still couldn't stop the chaos in various places. If the authorities knew you were a warrior, once Shenhuang targeted you, you would be finished. Han Rushue said. Let's talk about it when you get here. Xiao Chuan walked towards Lin Xiao Yu's room. This was also my room last night. Lin Xiao Yu came out after taking a shower, wrapped in a bath towel and blowing her hair. Large areas of her snow-white skin were exposed. Every time he saw her, Xiao Chu Nan would swallow his saliva. He would never get tired of playing with her fair skin. Soon, she dried her hair, looked at Xiao Chu Nan, and said softly. Thanks. Xiao Chu Nan put his hands in his pockets and looked out the window. After all, I can't bear to humiliate you like that. How is your humiliation of me any worse than theirs? Lin Xiao Yu said dimly. Don't you like that kind of humiliation? Xiao Chu Nan turned and looked at her. I'm not telling you this. Lin Xiao Yu didn't dare to look at his eyes and turned her head away. Have a good rest, and don't buy eating, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Xiao Chu Nan left after he finished speaking. You're just a beast. Lin Xiao Yu cursed with red eyes. Why can't you buy eating yourself? What if I get pregnant? If my parents knew that their grandson was the son of their enemy, I don't know if they will collapse. Lin Xiao Yu couldn't imagine that if this happened, she would be the first to collapse. Asshole, beast, not human. It's better to go out and get into a car accident. But don't kill yourself. I'm counting on you to help me pay off my debts. It would be best if you were crippled. Humph. In the room, Lin Xiao Yu angrily cursed Xiao Chu Nan. On their way back, Han Rushue asked. That girl is quite pitiful, why do you keep bullying her? Xiao Chu Nan sneered, not only will I bully her, I will also bully her family. When her father comes back, I will use her to humiliate her father. That's cruel. What's the grudge? Han Rushue was very curious. Irreconcilable hatred. Xiao Chu Nan said. You still want her to give birth to your child? Certainly. A smile appeared on Xiao Chuan's lips. I dare not imagine whether a father would collapse if he found out that his daughter had that kind of relationship with her enemy. If you have another child, the grandson is the enemy's offspring. If this kind of thing happened to me, I would be so angry that I would die. But I am an avenger, and just thinking about this kind of thing makes me feel great. Going home now? Han Rushue asked. No, let's go to the company. Xiao Chuanan thought of his sister and decided to send the Ling Yu over. Okay. Han Rushue turned the steering wheel and the car headed towards the city. 10 minutes later. Far South Group, Underground Laboratory. In the secret room made of steel, there is a transparent ice coffin. In the ice coffin, there was a sleeping girl, her face covered with frost and her whole body frozen. Younger sister. Standing in front of the ice coffin, I saw my sister's face. Xiao Chuan's eyes became hot and slightly moist. Brother will definitely save you. I opened the ice coffin, stroked my sister's face, and thought about how cute and lively she once was. Thinking of the life of two people relying on each other. Look at her now. Xiao Chu Nan felt like a needle piercing his heart. Take out the pair of spiritual jades and put them in. The spiritual energy instantly filled the coffin, nourishing the sister's cold body. Chapter 19 Shen Huang Organization. Leave the basement and return to the office. Mr. Xiao. Su Ainen pushed the door open and came in. She was wearing a hip skirt and a white shirt, which made people's eyes bright. She held a stack of documents and placed them on the table. XX has completed the acquisition. These are XX's acquisition documents. This is Lin Hao's account information. Oh. Xiao Chuanan picked up Lin Hao's information and started reading it. Then he turned on the computer, entered the XX website, and directly enabled the background permissions to enter Lin Hao's account. This guy also released a video. The first time I clicked on his video was 19 years ago. In the video, the location is on a yacht, where Lin Hao is having a party and playing sports with a group of women. There are also a few videos of Lin Hao playing with schoolgirls. Playing with young women. He never posted a video again until the year he got married. But he is often online. The last time it was online was half a year ago. Xiao Chu Nan ordered, pay close attention to this account and locate it immediately once it comes online. Yes, Mr. Xiao. Also, XX sounds too bad. People who don't know might think it's someone. So I'll change my name to Bluebird from now on. Okay, I'll arrange it right away. Su Ainen wrote them down one by one. Well, go ahead. Xiao Chuanan was very satisfied with this sexy female secretary. Su Ainen went to work. Xiao Chuanan didn't stay in the company for long and went home quickly. At this time, the Yun family. Xiao Chu Nan. Yun Qianxiao became furious when he learned that his daughter's tongue had been cut off by Xiao Chuanan. Dad, that bastard dared to do this to my sister, I'm going to kill him. The eldest son Yunlin was also extremely angry. That bastard has two masters around him. Ordinary people can't do anything to him. Yun Qianxiao quickly calmed down and said, well, inform your grandfather and ask him to use the authority of the Beater Society to send Xian Huang to solve the problem. What, mission failed? When Li Mingzhi got the answer from the customer service, he became angry. Waste, all of you are waste, all of you in Qingmen are waste. Dear, please pay attention to your attitude. The customer service said. What's wrong with my attitude? If you fail in the assassination attempt, what are you but a waste? The customer service said, Dear, the information you provided is incomplete. Besides, the assassination operation is over. What? Didn't they say they would hunt him down to the end with 70 million? Why would they end it? Li Mingzhi was so angry that he wanted to smash the phone. I spent all my money, but still couldn't kill that bastard. If you keep him for one more second, he will kick the goddess for one more second. This is absolutely not allowed. Hello, brother. Suddenly the cell phone rang. It was my brother calling. Mingzhi, I have taken over as the leader of Shenwang. I have sent 2 agents to protect you. They should have arrived at your villa. Please pay attention. Brother, have you become the leader of Shenwang? Li Mingzhi was overjoyed. Well, Jian Hen made some mistakes, so the higher-ups asked me to take over. Li Mingyuan said. Good, great. Li Mingzhi was ecstatic. Now he was more confident that he could kill that bastard. We chatted for a while and just hung up the phone. Swish. 2 figures flashed in from the window. They were 2 tall men. Be careful, there's someone here. Before Li Mingzhi could speak, one of the men spoke in a low voice. Click. At this moment, the door opened with a click. Then a woman in green flashed in quickly and stabbed Li Mingzhi with the sword in her hand. Looking for death. The 2 Shenwang agents snorted coldly and rushed forward like lions hunting. Ding ding. Their weapons collided, and yellow energy burst out from the 2 men's bodies. Shenwang. Seeing the aura of the 2 people, Zhu Yeking's beautiful face under the veil changed slightly. She didn't have time to think, she drew her sword and ran. Don't run. The 2 men chased after him. Whoosh. A flying needle made a faint sound of breaking through the air and flew towards Li Mingzhi. Not good. One of them turned around and grabbed the flying needle with lightning speed, saving Li Mingzhi. The other person didn't chase him anymore. Did you see what the move was? Lin Bei asked. Hu Lang shook his head. It's a very common killing move. It seems that the other party came prepared. Lin Bei said. Thank you 2 brothers for saving my life. Li Mingzhi thanked. Don't be so quick to thank me. That woman won't let it go. It's a Shenwang who neglected to control the south. Next, we will conduct a large number of investigations in the south. The next day, Xiao Chu Nan received the message from Zhu Yeking. After asking for her address, Xiao Chuan came to her Qingzhou bar. This pub is pretty good. Xiao Chuanan was surprised when he walked into the bar. I can't believe that a top killer would have a side job in a bar. Zhu Yeking was making wine at the front desk. Today she changed into plain white clothes and tied her hair into a high ponytail, looking heroic. Xiao Chuanan stood in front of the bar, looking at her back, her tall and sexy figure, her sassy ponytail, her round and perky butt, and her long legs. TSK TSK. It's so fascinating. I knew you had a good figure, but I didn't expect you to have such a good figure. I love it. Xiao Chuanan couldn't help swallowing. This figure is no worse than that of the killer sisters. How can a killer be so beautiful? Is it to facilitate the use of the beauty trap? Boy, you're looking for death. When Brother Long heard that he had no concealment of his covetousness towards his boss, he got angry on the spot. What? You still want to be a hero and save the beauty? Xiao Chuanan glanced at the big guy. Brother Long's huge fist went straight over. You are overestimating yourself. Xiao Chuan also threw a punch. Bang! Xiao Chuanan threw a quick punch, knocking Brother Long's huge fist to the side, with a cracking sound, and the bone was broken. Arr! Brother Long screamed. What the hell, what's going on? Those young people who were having fun in the bar were dumbfounded. Everyone knows what kind of person Brother Long is. This person actually punched Brother Long so hard that he screamed in pain. Awesome. Okay, Xiaolong. Zhu Yeking finally spoke, and she handed Xiao Chuanan a glass of wine. Boss. Brother Long covered his hands with a look of grievance. Go to the hospital, I'll give you a day off. Zhu Yeking said. Yes. Brother Long was a little confused. Who was this man? Why is the boss so polite to him? It seems that he is someone I can't afford to offend. You also know the mantis fist. You must be the disciple of the White Crane Master. Zhu Yeqing rode. Why did you call me here? Xiao Chuan did not answer her. My assassination attempt failed, she said frankly. Why? Li Mingzhi is protected by two Xian Wang masters. I can't get close to him. And I think Xian Wang has already started investigating me. I have to leave Mingyun. Zhu Yeqing said. You want me to give you the antidote? Xiao Chu Nan picked up the wine glass and took a sip. You drank my poison. Zhu Yeqing watched him drink with an expressionless face, and after he swallowed it, he showed a hint of success in his smile. Well, I didn't think you would really dare to poison me. Xiao Chu Nan smiled bitterly. I didn't expect that you would fall for such a low-level trick. A hint of pride flashed across Zhu Yeqing's beautiful eyes. I thought you wouldn't be so stupid, but I was the one who was stupid. Xiao Chuan laughed at himself. Zhu Yeqing said, let's exchange the antidote. After saying that, she left the bar and took Xiao Chu Nan to the 4th floor. Chapter 20, Capture the Beautiful Killer. Her bedroom is here. She entered her boudoir, opened a drawer, and took out a small porcelain bottle. This is my antidote, what's yours? She turned and looked at Xiao Chuan, who followed in. Here's mine. Xiao Chu Nan was already prepared and took out a prepared pill. Then, let's exchange. Zhu Yeqing threw the porcelain bottle to him. Xiao Chu Nan took it, opened it, poured out a large pill, and put it directly into his mouth to chew. Why is it sour and sweet? Is this the antidote? Xiao Chu Nan was puzzled. What else? Zhu Yeqing said, what about mine? Why don't you give it to me? I want to feed you mouth to mouth. Xiao Chu Nan looked at her beautiful face and her delicate red lips, which were very tempting. What? Zhu Yeqing was angry. Can you have some morals? How much more do you want to take advantage of me? I'm sorry, I have no morals. Just tell me whether you agree or not, or don't detoxify. Xiao Chu Nan rubbed the pills in his hand with a faint smile. Then come on. Zhu Yeqing closed his eyes. Anyway, they have been kissed. What difference does it make if it happens once more or once less? Once you break through for the first time, there will be countless times. Then I'll be welcome. Xiao Chu Nan walked forward, put his arms around her slender waist, and kissed her red lips directly. The next day, when Xiao Chu Nan woke up, it was already noon. The snow-white body in the quilt has disappeared, but a faint fragrance remains. It's really top-notch. Xiao Chu Nan couldn't help but reminisce. I didn't expect that this woman didn't poison me at all. She gave me a large hawthorn pill. However, I gave her Liu Wei de Huang pills. We didn't poison her. When Xiao Chu Nan told each other last night, they both couldn't help but laugh. This woman is pretty crazy. I read those online novels and it turns out that killers need one-night stands to release their emotions. Could it be that she is an experienced driver? Xiao Chu Nan lifted the quilt, and a shockingly bright red plum blossom suddenly appeared before his eyes. After a long silence, Xiao Chuan came back to his senses. Take the phone and call her. Hello, the number you dialed is powered off. He really left. Get up and go downstairs. The bartender was replaced by another person. After some inquiries, I learned that Zhu Yeqing had gone abroad. You run so fast. Xiao Chuan shook his head. At the same time, Xianwang base. Found it. Xiao Chuan's information was displayed on the big screen. Xiao Chu Nan, chairman of Yuannan Group, rose to prominence suddenly 18 years ago. Due to various coincidences, he went from being a migrant worker to a billionaire. This guy is awesome. A short guy clicked his tongue. But it's still not good enough for us. Since the Beater Society attaches so much importance to him, he must not be an ordinary person. A tall and thin man next to him said. They are all masters of the Xianwang organization, responsible for carrying out the orders of the Beater Association and investigating Xiao Chu Nan. But there is no other information. The short man said. Send someone to Mingyun to keep an eye on him. This guy is definitely not a simple person, said the tall and thin man. The short man thought for a moment and said. Let Susan and the others go. It would be best if they could sneak into his villa. Also, let Lin Bei and Hu Lang take action, starting with the people around him. I want to see his strength first. The tall and thin man rejected the proposal. No, before we know the strength, don't let our people take risks for the time being. Let's control the local forces and do it. The short man said helplessly, but Mingyin's Qinglong society and the slumgan have all been wiped out. We can't control them even if we want to. The tall and thin man said, the Yun family's assassins. Since Zhu Yeqing left, Xiao Chu Nan has been taking care of his health for the next few days. However, watching Su Ainan's sexy and tall figure swaying in front of him every day made him unable to help but have wild thoughts. Thinking of Lin Xiao Yu's flawless body. Think of Zhu Yeqing's sexy and alluring figure. Especially since the weather has been hot recently, Su Ainan doesn't even wear black stockings. Their hip skirt, white and tender long legs, and their white shirt on her upper body can't hide her figure at all. And then, I'll take a rest tomorrow. You should keep an eye on Bluebird's affairs. Xiao Chu Nan said to her. He took a set of photos of training Lin Xiao Yu and waited for Lin Hao to come online to send them to him. I understand, Mr. Xiao. Su Ainan said obediently. After get off work, Xiao Chuan came to Mingyun University. He drove his luxury car worth tens of millions and parked it in front of the school gate. Wow, that's the Bugatti Silver Supercar, there are only 3 in the world, awesome. Whose young master does this belong to? I'm so jealous. When these college students saw this, they all exclaimed in amazement. Then he pulled out his phone to take a picture. At this time, a girl with loose hair and wearing a mask walked quickly towards the supercar. She lowered her head, afraid of being recognized. That person has passed. Who is she? With this height, this temperament, and this figure, how come she looks a bit like a school beauty? No way, I don't believe it, it should just be their bodies that are similar. Yeah, it can't be my goddess. Many people turned pale and became nervous. That's right. Today the school beauty was wearing jeans, but she was wearing a skirt. How could she be the school beauty? After these words were spoken, the admirers felt better. It's fine as long as she is not your goddess. It's none of your business how others are kept. In the corner, a beautiful woman in simple clothes trembled slightly when she saw the girl. It doesn't matter if others can't see it. As a mother, she was 100% sure that the girl was her daughter, Lin Xiao Yu. But how could she get into the Bugatti Silver Supercar? Could it be that Wang Liu that kid changed his car? She clearly remembered that the Bugatti that Wang Liu owned was a red and blue racing car. This child, he secretly stayed with Wang Liu without telling me. I was worried that you didn't have living expenses, so I sent them to you. Thinking of this, she walked towards Bugatti. At this time, the seats in the car have been laid flat, and the space inside the car is like a huge bed. As soon as the girl got in the car, Xiao Chuanan hugged her soft and fragrant body, and then lay down flat. Did you just take a shower? Xiao Chuan asked after smelling the scent of shower gel on her body. Well, I changed my clothes. If anyone recognizes me, I'll be screwed. The girl glared at him resentfully. What are you afraid of? Your parents will find out sooner or later anyway. Does it matter if other people know it or not? Xiao Chuanan put his big hands into her clothes. You said you would help me pay back the money. The girl twisted her body to show her resistance to the evil hand. Next month, you haven't performed well this month. Xiao Chuanan looked at her delicate face and couldn't help but be obsessed with her. She was really so beautiful. Kiss first, and then we'll go to my house. Xiao Chuanan pressed her little head down with one hand, raised her chin slightly, and kissed her little mouth. Lin Xiao Yu is no longer opposed to kissing. After all, she has done things that are more excessive than kissing. Knock knock. There was a knock on the car window. Lin Xiao Yu pushed the man away, looked outside, and was almost scared to death. The mother was standing outside, bending slightly, trying to look inside. However, the car windows are one-way glass, and you cannot see inside from the outside. Chapter 21. Xiao Yu's mother saw it. Don't make any noise. Lin Xiao Yu said in panic. Do you want to open the car window and let your mother see? No. Lin Xiao Yu lowered her voice. Afraid of being heard by my mother. Zhang Lingyu couldn't help but feel angry when she knocked on the car window but got no response. What a stupid girl! She shouted into the car. Xiao Yu, I know you are in there, open the window for a moment, mommy has something to say. Still no response. This girl is going to piss me off to death. Zhang Lingyu was angry. Wang Liu, you bastard, what are you doing in there? Come out now. Still no response. Zhang Lingyu continued knocking on the car window. Your mother is so annoying, Xiao Chu Nan said. Lin Xiao Yu said nervously, please, drive the car away. My mother is sure that I am here, otherwise she wouldn't be like this. Har har, let her take a look then. Xiao Chu Nan lowered the car window a little. With a click, the car window dropped slightly. Zhang Lingyu immediately leaned over and looked inside. When she saw the scene inside, she was shocked. With a click, the car window closed. Lin Xiao Yu, Wang Liu. Zhang Lingyu was furious. After more than 10 seconds, the car started up and sped away, leaving Zhang Lingyu going crazy on the spot. Xiao Chu Nan took Lin Xiao Yu back to his villa. She quickly sent a message to her mother. Mom, I'm sorry. I'll explain it to you later. Lin Xiao Yu, you'd better explain it to me clearly. Zhang Lingyu couldn't suppress her anger. My daughter has grown up and her wings have become stronger. How do you not listen to me? I told her not to lose her virginity before getting married. Why won't this girl listen? I never gave it to Xiao Chu Nan back then, and saved it for the first time on the night of our wedding. So after marriage, Lin Hao loved her very much. This is how she got her status. She has always been proud of this. It was also thanks to me that I had been keeping Xiao Chuan in suspense and prevented him from succeeding. Fortunately, Xiao Chu Nan was a bootlicker and did not use tough measures on her. Mom, I'll explain later. I have something to do now. Let me ask you, who was that man just now? Zhang Lingyu still wanted to know if it was Wang Liu. If this girl dared to betray her childhood sweetheart, I will never forgive her. I can't tell you now, but you will know later. Mom, I'm going to hang up first. After saying that, Lin Xiao Yu hung up the phone in a hurry. Zhang Lingyu had a bad feeling. Listen to the tone of this girl. Isn't he that man Wang Liu? She quickly called Wang Liu. Hello, Aunt Zhang. Wang Liu said obediently. Wang Liu, where are you? Zhang Lingyu asked. I'm at the West Hills Arena, what's going on? Wang Liu was puzzled. Nothing, I just wanted to ask, have you been in contact with Xiao Yu recently? Zhang Lingyu's heart sank. This child of the Wang family is favored by both herself and her husband. As the son of the Wang family, he is powerful and influential. If Xiao Yu marries him, she will definitely not suffer any loss. Moreover, in the future, he might be able to use the power of the Wang family to revive the Lin family. Now, it's all over. Well, we haven't been in touch recently. Xiao Yu said she doesn't want to fall in love yet and just wants to study hard. But don't worry, Aunt Zhang. I will wait for her. I don't want anyone else except Xiao Yu. Wang Liu said solemnly. Zhang Lingyu was stunned. That year, she and Xiao Chuan agreed to go to Mingyun University. Under the pear tree he said to himself. I don't want anyone else but you. Zhang Lingyu smiled awkwardly. Wang Liu, you don't have to be so rigid. If you like other girls, go after them. Don't worry about Xiao Yu. Aunt Zhang, what are you talking about? Xiao Yu and I are childhood sweethearts. We grew up together. How could I possibly fall for someone else? Wang Liu was still angry. Auntie is just saying it casually, don't be angry, that's it. Zhang Lingyu quickly hung up the phone and sent an angry WeChat message to her daughter. You'd better go home right now. After sending the message, she took a taxi back home. She has moved out of the slums and rented an apartment in the suburbs. Of course, this is also thanks to my daughter. I don't know where she brought back the 1 million from. Moreover, in recent times, the debt collectors have not bothered me anymore. I couldn't figure it out before. Now, she suddenly understood. But who could that man be? And why does it feel familiar? The sky gradually darkened. Villa, bathroom, huge bathtub. Xiao Chu Nan took a bath with the beautiful girl in his arms. If I behave well this time, can you help me pay the debt this month? Lin Xiao Yu pleaded with her big watery eyes. 100 million is paid back every month. 1.2 billion a year. Plus interest. It will take another 10 years to pay off the more than 10 billion. In other words, she will be played with by this bastard until she is 28 years old. This is no different than marrying him. No, you were so absent-minded just now. I was not satisfied. If your body wasn't so perfect, I wouldn't bother to play with you. Why are you like this? Lin Xiao Yu was unhappy. At this time, Xiao Chuan's cell phone rang. It was Su Ainan calling. Hey, Anan. Mr. Xiao, my sister is missing, woo woo. Chapter 22. Kill the Shenhuang Master and obtain the Heavenly Book. Don't worry, I'll send someone to investigate right away. Xiao Chu Nan stood up from the bathtub and went out to make arrangements. He then asked the killer sisters to investigate. The killer sisters didn't come back until evening. Su Ainan rushed out, her eyes red from crying. How's it going? The sisters both shook their heads. Su Ainan was anxious. What should I do? What should I do? My sister must have been kidnapped. The door of my house is closed and ordinary people can't get in. Who could it be? Just when everyone was thinking, Xiao Chuan's cell phone rang. Who is it? Xiao Chu Nan, if you want to know the whereabouts of that little girl, come to Green Forest Ridge outside the city. The other party's voice was a woman's. Okay. Xiao Chu Nan agreed without asking any more questions. Is there any news about my sister? Su Ainan asked. Well, I guess the other party has bad intentions and is targeting me. Xiao Chu Nan said apologetically, I'm sorry, Anan, I have caused you trouble. I will save your sister. Ding, mission issued, rescue Su Xiaomai and kill Shenhuang Master Suzan. Reward, Heavenly Book, Taoism Scripture. Introduction to the Taoist Scripture, the universe's top immortal cultivation method, all-encompassing, all things are for my use, I am all things. Xiao Chu Nan was stunned. This is the best reward the system has ever given. An hour later. Outside the city. When Xiao Chu Nan slowly walked into the woods, he saw a little girl tied to a tree from afar. There were a few strong men guarding nearby. Xiao Chu Nan, you are finally here. A woman with a high ponytail and wearing a black windbreaker walked out slowly. Let her go now, and I might be able to spare your lives. Xiao Chuan's eyes narrowed slightly, revealing a murderous look. Har 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 har, Suzan laughed disdainfully. The internal energy in your body is too scattered. You have form but no power. You are just a beginner in leather training. What can you use to fight me? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I am a Shenhuang master, the descendant of the god of war. Suzan had a look of disdain on her face, her chin slightly raised, as proud as a peacock. Be careful, he is most likely trained by Nalen Ruyan, a disciple of the god of war. Not far behind him, Leng Rushuang reminded him. Huh? Someone actually knows my instructor. Suzan looked at Leng Rushuang in surprise, but seeing that she didn't have much internal energy, she didn't take her seriously. Okay, stop talking nonsense. If you want to save this kid, defeat me first. Xiao Chu Nan asked, do you think you are very strong? In front of a bunch of rubbish like you, I feel so strong. Suzan said arrogantly. Whoosh! A faint sound of breaking through the air was heard. Leng Rushuang fired a flying needle at her. Suzan raised her hand to clamp it. Don't use your little tricks to embarrass yourself, it's boring. After saying that, he threw the flying needle to the ground. Damn it! Leng Rushuang was angry. Her most skilled move was described by this woman as a little trick. Is she strong? Su Ainan asked. She's right. She is indeed terribly strong in front of us. Leng Rushuang said. Then, is my sister hopeless? Su Ainan turned pale when she heard this, and looked at her sister in front of her with great worry. I'm afraid so. Although this guy is stronger than us, he is not strong enough to fight against Shenhuang masters. Leng Rushuang glanced at Xiao Chu Nan and said. Su Ainan felt disheartened. At this moment, Xiao Chuan moved. Throw a punch. Mantis fist, interesting, but not fast enough. Suzan turned her head to block the attack, then gathered a burst of energy in her palm and attacked Xiao Chu Nan. With a clang, the internal energy in Xiao Chuan's body condensed into a huge bell, blocking it. Golden bell cover, that's interesting. Suzan appeared calm on the surface, but was extremely surprised in her heart. She had never heard of anyone other than Shaolin disciples practicing the golden bell cover. Xiao Chu Nan looked calm and his steps were very fast. Suddenly, a figure flashed and he mysteriously appeared behind Suzan, then blasted out with the mantis fist as fast as lightning. Bang! There was a loud bang. Suzan's head was smashed like a watermelon. The juice burst all over the floor. What? The Su family's assassins were horrified when they saw this. He actually killed the Shen Wang master. After getting rid of Susan, Xiao Chu Nan turned his attention to the Su family's assassins. You, don't come over here. We have bombs planted all around here. If you dare to come over, we will detonate them. One of the assassins took out the remote control. Xiao Chu Nan moved, and he turned into a swimming dragon, leaving a long shadow, and disappeared in a flash. When he came to Su Xiaoyin, he cut the rope on her with a knife, held her in his arms, turned around and left. And, at this moment, those assassins also detonated the bombs. Boom! As soon as Xiao Chu Nan ran out, the fire from the bomb engulfed him and Su Xiaoyin. Mr. Xiao, sister! Su Ainin screamed and rushed forward like crazy. Don't go over there. The killer sisters quickly pulled her away. The next second, Xiao Chuan appeared, with a faint golden light emanating from his body, which was the magical power of the golden bell cover. Neither of them was injured at all. Bite. Complete the mission, kill Susan and rescue Su Xiaomai. Reward, Heavenly Book, Taoism Scripture. Completed enlightenment. In an instant, a memory merged into Xiao Chuan's mind. He obtained the entire content of the Taoist scriptures and the mysteries after enlightenment. These mysteries made him shudder. Is this the secret of immortal cultivators? Is this the secret of the universe? So fascinating. Younger sister. Su Ainin cried with joy and ran up. Sister. Su Xiaoyin threw herself into her sister's arms. Ho! Xiao Chuanan alertly discovered that there was movement not far away. Wait for me here. Xiao Chuanan used his footwork to disappear into the darkness and into the woods. Click! Click! In the woods, the sounds of broken necks could be heard one after another. Soon, Xiao Chuan came back. It's okay, let's go. Shen Wang base. Susan died. Upon hearing the news, all members of the Yellow Group base fell silent. I told you long ago that Lin Bei and Hu Lang should go. The team leader won't allow them to do that. They are using these two to protect Li Mingzhi. Hearing this, everyone fell silent. Send them to recover Susan's body. Yes. Then, the remaining senior leaders began to look at Susan's mission recorder. The fight between the two men can be seen in the video. The mantis fist and the golden bell cover are fine, but what is that weird footwork? Seeing Xiao Chuanan suddenly disappear, several senior executives of Shen Wang were shocked. It must be some lost footwork. Susan was careless in this regard. However, this man knew that Susan was from our Shen Wang, but he still dared to kill her. Just based on this reason, we can arrest him. Also, enter this person's information into the system. How would you rate him? Level 4, extremely dangerous person. Yes. Mingyun City. Xiao Chuanan's villa. After coaxing Su Xiaoyin to sleep, Su Ainin went to the rooftop. Mr. Xiao, why aren't you asleep yet? She woke up gently, stood beside Xiao Chuanan, tilted her head slightly, and looked at him with her beautiful eyes sparkling. When people get old, they tend to have trouble sleeping. Xiao Chuanan said. Mr. Xiao is not old. Su Ainin said softly. Aren't you old enough? You're only 22, and I'm 14 years older than you, more than one zodiac sign. Xiao Chunan smiled. Mr. Xiao is young and strong, and at first glance you look no different from a 20-year-old young man, so you are not old. Su Ainin said. Anan, I'm sorry about what happened today. I didn't expect to implicate you. Xiao Chuanan felt a little guilty. Fortunately, I got the Taoist scriptures today. As long as I practice a little, I can gain strength that is invincible on Blue Star. By then, I will be able to protect the people around me. The Taoist scriptures, as the #1 method of cultivating immortals in the universe, can transform all things for one's own benefit. It is extremely mysterious and infinite. Boss Xiao, I don't allow you to say that. Without you, there would be no one in today. It's you who saved me from the slums and gave me a decent job. Thank you, Mr. Xiao. Su Ainin stood on tiptoe slightly and kissed the man on the face with her pink-red lips. Chapter 23, The Destruction Cult. She had wanted to do this for a long time. But there has never been a reason. Xiao Chuanan was stunned. There was a beautiful woman beside him, and she kissed him actively. Who can stand this? I'm going to sleep first, good night, Mr. Xiao. The next second, Su Anan ran away quickly like a rabbit. This girl. Xiao Chu Nan shook his head with a sneer. Let's start practicing. Sit cross-legged, practice the ancient Tao Te Ching, and comprehend the mysteries of the universe. The moon is very round tonight. The endless power of moonlight was absorbed by Xiao Chuan and transformed into the power of Tai Yin. Tao is the source of all things. Tao gives birth to yin and yang. The sun, the energy of all things can be absorbed and utilized and transformed into one's own vitality. This is the mystery of Taoist scriptures. A night passed. The next day, dawn. Xiao Chu Nan opened his eyes. What stinks? Xiao Chuanan was surprised when he smelled a foul odor. Then he looked down at his arms, which were covered in black dirt. Is this impurity in the body? It seems that I have taken the first step towards becoming an immortal, shaving my hair and cleansing my marrow. Go downstairs and take a shower. After taking a shower, I stood in front of the mirror and saw that my body was stronger and my skin was as smooth as a baby's. My vision, hearing and sense of smell have also become stronger. Although I haven't entered the qi refining stage yet, I can already circulate the majestic qi in my body. Now, we don't have to worry about those killer agents coming to cause trouble. Xiao Chuannan's dark eyes flashed with cold light. I finally have the capital to participate in the struggle for hegemony in this chaotic world. What's going on? Didn't I play a few games with Lin Xiao Yu yesterday? Why are you thinking about it again? Could it be that by absorbing the power of Tai Yin, one can directly replenish the kidney essence? This is so cool. Xiao Chuanan was dumbfounded, and then filled with endless ecstasy. He likes this ability. Boss Xiao, someone is looking for you. Su Anan knocked on the door outside. Who is it? Xiao Chuan asked. I don't know. He said you'll know when you meet him. Okay, let him wait for me in the study. Xiao Chunan started to put on his clothes. It's really uncomfortable. Xiao Yu has gone to school. Who should I start with later? Why not eat Henrushua first? That girl seems easier to deal with. A few minutes later, Xiao Chuanan dressed neatly and entered the study. A seemingly ordinary man was standing on a bookshelf, looking at Xiao Chuan's collection of books. Mr. Xiao is not an idealist either. Your favorite book is Zhuangzi, right? The man said. Because this book has been polished to a pulp. The world is in chaos, and I have thought about living in seclusion in the mountains, but I can't do it. Xiao Chunan sat down and poured him tea. The root of all this is humans. When the ancient virus swept the world 16 years ago, Blue Planet miraculously recovered. Animals that were once extinct have reappeared, rivers that were once stinky have become clear again, and marine garbage has decreased. So, the root of all this is people. The man said a little excitedly. Who are you? Xiao Chuan already had some guesses in his mind. Sorry, I got excited. Let me introduce myself. I'm from the World Destruction Sect. My name is Li Dong. I'm sure Mr. Xiao has heard of our sect. The man calmed down and introduced himself. I have heard that you aim to destroy humanity and believe that humans are the cancer cells of the Blue Planet. Xiao Chuanan nodded. People in the world think that the religion of destruction does not exist. However, he does exist, and his influence is still considerable today. Yes. The man picked up a copy of The Three-Body Problem and said slowly. When I was little, I hated Yi Wenjie. Later, my mother was killed by them, and the murderer was sentenced to only 1 year in prison. I finally understood Yi Wenjie. When I was 20, my salary for a year was deducted. I tried to get it back but failed, which led to my father dying in the hospital. After that, I experienced a lot of despair, and this despair was brought to me by people. From then on, I vowed to become Yi Wenjie, and even surpass her. The man's face was full of hatred, and it was not hatred towards a specific person. Rather, the entire human society. Xiao Chuan fell silent. He thought about how he was betrayed by Zhang Lingyu. Humiliated by Lin Hao. Carrying bricks at the construction site to pay for my sister's medical treatment. My sister eventually left me. I have looked into what happened to Mr. Xiao. We started paying attention to you 10 years ago. I think Mr. Xiao and I have the same ideals. Boss Xiao, please join us. Let us destroy this world. Li Dong stood up and extended a sincere invitation. Xiao Chunan smiled. Why can you destroy this world? So I need Mr. Xiao's help. Li Dong said. He really doesn't have the ability. I don't want to destroy this world. Go away. I won't join you. Xiao Chuan refused. Li Dong bowed slightly and then handed out a business card. If Mr. Xiao figures it out one day, we will welcome you at any time in the world of destruction. Having said that, he left. Xiao Chuanan picked up the business card, took a look at it, and threw it into the trash can. In the afternoon, someone came to deliver the food. Su Ainen looked at the ingredients and said she wanted to cook. I can make boiled chicken, but I don't know how to chop the chicken. Rushua, you have to help me. Han Rushua tossed her flying knife and said, Okay, I'll show you a few tricks later. Uncle Xiao, what kind of chicken do you like to eat? Su Xiaoyin asked in a childish voice. The little girl is only 6 years old and is in the first grade. I like mouth-watering chicken, hand-shredded chicken, and meat-wrapped chicken. Xiao Chuanan smiled slightly. These 3 kinds of chickens are liked by all men. Boss Xiao. Su Ainen stomped her feet in anger. My sister has cooked chicken many times. She knows how to cook any kind of chicken. I'll let my sister cook it for you. Su Xiaoyin said in a clear voice. Xiaoyin, stop talking nonsense. What do you mean by sister has been a prostitute many times? Su Ainen walked over and took her sister away. At this time, Lin Rushuan came back. As soon as she came back, she opened the refrigerator, took out a bottle of juice, and then sat on the sofa. Your enemy's daughter is in some trouble. What's the trouble? She was severely spanked by Zhang Lingyu when she got home today. She was so scared that she went back to school and hid. Xiao Chu Nan felt a little distressed. Why don't you stop me? What if I break it? I want to play with it again in the future. It's not like you haven't fought before. When you did it, the sound could be heard in our room. Leng Rushuan rolled her eyes at him and said, I followed Zhang Lingyu again later. She was so angry that she started crying in her room, but she didn't contact Lin Hao either. She may really not have Lin Hao's contact information. Xiao Yu did not lie. He ran away so quickly, but he will come back. I don't believe he would really abandon his wife and daughter. Xiao Chuan clenched his fists. I have some connections abroad, would you like me to check for you? Leng Rushuan said. After witnessing Xiao Chuan's strength last night, she has already recognized this boss. Then I'll trouble you. No trouble, just teach me your footwork. Let's talk about it after you find Lin Hao. Or, you sisters can come and warm my bed tonight. Xiao Chunan said with a smile. Get out. Leng Rushuan's pretty face turned red. After dinner, everyone sat in the living room and watched TV. Uncle Xiao, why don't you be my brother-in-law? Su Xiaoyin blinked her big eyes at him. What nonsense are you talking about? Su Ainen was so embarrassed that she quickly covered her sister's mouth to stop her from speaking. Su Xiaoyin struggled, and seeing that her sister refused to let go, she lifted up her sister's skirt, revealing their white and tender fleshy legs. Ar! Su Ainen screamed and retracted her hand, quickly pulling down the hem of her skirt. Uncle Xiao, look at my sister's thighs, they are so white, tender and smooth, don't you like them? Su Xiaoyin put her hand directly on her sister's thigh, touching it and speaking. Chapter 24, Deducing the Method and Learning the Buddha's Golden Body. Mr. Xiao, my sister is sleepy. I'll take her upstairs to sleep first. Su Ainen picked up her sister and ran away. Gurgle, Xiao Chuan swallowed. Not being able to see those beautiful legs makes one feel empty inside. Schwaner, schwer. Xiao Chuan stared at them like a wolf and licked his lips. Let's go take a shower. Seeing him like this, Lin Rushuan quickly took her sister and ran away. Why did they all run away? Xiao Chuanan was a little depressed. At this time, Su Ainen poked her head out from the stairs and said shyly. Boss Xiao, the nanny said she wants to resign. I will hire a new nanny for you. Well, you arrange it. Xiao Chuan didn't care about these things. Anyway, as long as someone can mop the floor and clean, it will be fine. As for food, their hotel will deliver it. Xiao Chuan's subsidiary is engaged in catering. All the ingredients used are natural ingredients from the mountains. In order to ensure the quality, it is only opened in Mingyun and is highly sought after by bigwigs in the province. Many people even come from far away to eat here. Okay, by the way, Mr. Xiao, the people in the mountains said they need more manpower. Our natural pesticides are a bit insufficient, so we need to catch insects manually recently. Su Ainan said. Natural pesticides are not pesticides, but a natural medicine made by fermenting the leaves, branches, and seeds of the neem tree. Chili water, wood ash, and Tusenden fruit can also repel insects. Then allocate funds to them and purchase from other provinces. You can arrange these. Xiao Chu Nan believed in her unconditionally. Just be a hands-off boss. Okay. Su Ainan responded and went upstairs. She will stay here for the next 2 days because she doesn't feel safe at home. I simply brought my computer with me so I can work anytime and anywhere. Xiao Chu Nan came to the roof and began to practice. Absorb the energy of the moonlight, transform it into kidney essence, and then transform the essence into your own vital energy. Refine your essence into energy. Xiao Chu Nan felt that he was in better spirits, his mind was clear and his eyes were bright. No wonder those Taoists like to refine their essence into energy and never touch women in their entire lives. Xiao Chu Nan is now full of energy, so he simply stands up and performs a set of mantis boxing. When a mantis hunts, its essence lies in speed, ruthlessness and accuracy. As Xiao Chu Nan was practicing boxing, he realized, it's as fast as Thunderbolt, its force is as strong as a dragon, it's fast, fierce and accurate, and only a fatal blow can defeat the enemy. Thunderbolt, like a dragon. In the mysteries of Taoist scriptures, Xiao Chu Nan learned 2 other moves from Mantis Fist. Why don't I fuse it and turn it into a Thunderbolt Fist? Xiao Chu Nan tried to transform and integrate it, then imagined it in his mind and typed it out at the same time. Bang! A punch was thrown out with the force of thunder, and the air even exploded. Hiss! This is simply the boxing of the immortals, more powerful and more brutal. Xiao Chu Nan was ecstatic. I didn't expect that the Taoist scriptures could have this function, to comprehend and integrate all things. Since I can modify the Mantis Fist, why not modify the golden bell cover and light footsteps as well? Xiao Chu Nan activated the golden bell cover, sat cross-legged, and comprehended quietly. With a dong, the golden bell cover appeared on his body. Golden bell cover, Buddhism, Buddha, golden body, evil spirits cannot approach, great force cannot be destroyed. Xiao Chu Nan saw the shadow of Buddha in the cultivation method of the golden bell cover. I understand. This is a simplified version of the Buddha's golden body. Let me use the Taoist scriptures to deduce and complete this method. A night passed. The next day. Har ha har ha, I did it. On the rooftop, Xiao Chuan laughed. What are you making so much noise for so early in the morning? Han Rushue was still sleeping. When she heard the noise, she couldn't help but mutter. Xiao Shue, it's time to get up and practice. Xiao Chuan said with a smile. Really? Han Rushue somersaulted and leaped up. She jumped out of the window with her agile body and quickly climbed to the roof. Come, hit me. Xiao Chuanan said to her while sitting cross-legged there. Are you sick? Han Rushue was stunned when she heard this. He was going to be beaten early in the morning. Do you have any special hobbies? Yes, I am sick, come and try to beat me. Xiao Chuanan couldn't wait to try out the Buddha's golden body and the immortal body. Last night, he deduced the golden bell cover and realized the golden body of Buddha. He deduced the iron shirt and realized the immortal overlord body. He deduced the Lingbo Weibo and figured out the top escape technique, which made the world within reach. Of course, with his current level of cultivation, he is temporarily unable to perform such magical arts. At the very least, it would take until the foundation building stage to be able to perform it. At present, the only 2 things that can be used are Thunderbolt Fist and Buddha's golden body. But it is enough to dominate the world of high martial arts. Now, in Xiao Chuan's view, Blue Star is a low-level martial arts world. Then I'm not polite. Han Rushue was still wearing her pink pajamas, and she couldn't help but feel a little moved when she saw that he was actually being beaten. She had wanted to beat this guy up for a long time. That night at Qinglong Villa, he stripped himself and his sister naked. This revenge has not yet been avenged. Come on, Kemo. Xiao Chuan hooked his finger. Han Rushue picked up the brick next to her and rushed over. I'll smash you to death, you lecher. Xiao Chuanan stood straight with his hands on his chest. And made a very strange gesture, pointing 2 fingers to the sky. Bang! The bricks smashed down and turned into powder directly, and a faint golden light emanated from Xiao Chuan's body. He was not hurt at all. Oh my god. Han Rushue was stunned. Xiao Chu Nan put his arm around her slender waist and pulled her into his arms. "Arr!" Han Rushue exclaimed, and immediately became like a cat whose tail was stepped on. She stood up and slapped the man with both hands. "Let me go, you pervert!" Xiao Chu Nan touched her thigh with his big hand, with a faint evil smile. "You're wearing something so sexy so early in the morning. I think you're just trying to seduce me." "Who wants to seduce you? Let me go." Han Rushue was angry. She suddenly raised her right leg and pushed her knee towards Xiao Chuan's crotch. Xiao Chuanan didn't dare to take the risk, so he quickly let her go and jumped back to avoid her. "Humph, I thought you were invincible, but it turns out you have weaknesses." Han Rushue snorted angrily. Xiao Chuanan didn't comment, just smiled slightly. Han Rushue blinked her beautiful eyes, and her black eyeballs rolled around. What move did you use just now? Can women learn it? Anyone can have the golden body of Buddha. Xiao Chuanan did not hide it from her. Then can you teach me? Han Rushue knew that this name was very awesome when she heard it. If you can't even touch my legs, why should I teach you? I won't do anything that has no benefit. Xiao Chunan stared at her white and tender thighs under her nightgown. Can you teach me by touching my legs? Han Rushue bit her lower lip with her pearly teeth. It would be okay if she touched it. She could make a sacrifice. Touch it first. Xiao Chuanan said. Then come on. Han Rushue closed her eyes. Chapter 25, Freighter Explosion, over 100 dead and injured. Xiao Chuanan walked up to her and put his hand on her thigh without any hesitation. He also commented, nice skin, perfect proportions of thighs and calves. The legs are round and firm, and you can tell from regular exercise. It would be a shame if they can't ride a tricycle. Han Rushue opened her beautiful eyes and asked, have you finished touching me? Why are you in such a hurry? I haven't finished my review yet. There's no scar left on this knee after it's scabbed over. It looks like he hasn't been kneeling for a long time before. This calf, this ankle. Xiao Chuanan studied his entire leg. Are you ready? Han Rushue felt so embarrassed when she heard this. This guy was just touching her, why did he even study her? Don't worry, I'm researching what kind of legs are considered beautiful, why I think chopstick legs are ugly, why I like beautiful legs, what is the beauty of them? Xiao Chuanan directly triggered philosophical thinking. He looked up at her, are you willing to cooperate with me and complete this research? How do I cooperate? Han Rushue blinked her beautiful eyes in a silly way. During the research process, show me your legs, let me touch them, and let me study them. Xiao Chuanan said seriously. Teach me the Buddha's golden body first. Han Rushue is not stupid. She would not agree unless she gets any benefits. Okay, I'll go downstairs and teach you. Xiao Chuanan picked her up by the waist and went downstairs. What are you doing? I can walk by myself. Han Rushue screamed and struggled. If you make any more noise, I'll kiss you. Xiao Chuan threatened viciously. Han Rushue shut up obediently. Xiao Chuanan sneered. In his eyes, Han Rushue was like a little child, only 2 years older than Lin Xiao Yu. Just as innocent and cute. I just went downstairs and saw Lin Ruxuan coming back. She was carrying 2 bags containing breakfast. You guys. Lin Ruxuan was stunned. Han Rushue screamed, jumped out of the man's arms, and ran back to the room quickly. Schwer sprained her ankle just now. Xiao Chunan said. Oh. Lin Ruxuan didn't ask any more questions. She returned to her room and closed the door. Schwer, what happened just now? It's nothing, I just sprained my ankle. Really? Lin Ruxuan felt something was wrong. She clearly felt an itchy thigh just now, as if someone was caressing it. In the morning, Su Ainan went to the company, leaving Su Xiaoying in the villa. Han Rushue followed and said she wanted to protect Su Ainan. Mr. Xiao, there will be a nanny named Anna applying for the job later. Please interview her. Su Ainan called back. Got it. Xiao Chuan agreed. Ding dong. Just at this moment, the doorbell rang. Su Xiaoying was playing in the yard. When she heard the doorbell, she jumped to the door. Who are you? The little girl put her hands behind her back and looked at the woman outside the door curiously. She has long chestnut curly hair and a charming face. She is of mixed race and has a voluptuous figure. She wears a black uniform that reveals a pair of long legs. Xiao Chu Nan opened the door remotely with the remote control, and then said, "Xiao Ying, bring her in." Okay. Su Xiaoyin skipped back to their house. Anna followed him in. Entering the hall, she immediately bowed to Xiao Chu Nan. "Hello, Mr. Xiao. I'm here to apply for the position of nanny. My name is Anna. Here is my identity information and resume." She handed over a document. Xiao Chu Nan took it and looked at it for a few seconds. Anna, 25 years old, is good at housework and cooking. She has a bachelor's degree and is a mixed race because her mother is Nordic. Well, then try cleaning. Xiao Chu Nan was quite satisfied. Okay. Anna immediately took action, found a mop and bucket, and started cleaning. Seeing how skillfully and efficiently she worked, Xiao Chu Nan accepted her and offered her a monthly salary of 10,000 yuan, including food but not accommodation. After Xiao Chu Nan took Lin Rushuang out, Anna's pretty face with a smile immediately became cold and solemn. She quickly took out a few things from her bag. While Su Xiaoyin was playing outside, she quietly went to the second floor, skillfully unlocked the door, and entered Xiao Chuan's room. Install the rice grain cameras and eavesdropping devices in hidden corners of the room. Yuannan Group, Chairman's office. Lin Rushuang was sitting on the sofa, looking at her phone. Anna entered your room. I said this person is abnormal. Such a beautiful person is a nanny. You are so beautiful, why don't you come to be a killer? Xiao Chu Nan said as he sat at his desk playing games. Being a killer makes a lot of money, at least several million per job, and it's easy. Lin Rushuang turned sideways and lay down on the sofa. Then you don't feel guilty about killing people? You will go to hell if you do evil. Xiao Chu Nan stared at the screen. It was obvious that the game had entered its hot stage. The murderer is a hired man. What does it have to do with me as a killer? I am just a gun and a knife. The one who kills is the one holding the gun. Lin Rushuang has her own set of theories and will not be bound by morality at all. You have no morals. Xiao Chuan said. Our crystal is being attacked. I don't want to play anymore. Xiao Chuan quit the game directly. What should we do with Anna? Lin Rushuang asked while looking at the surveillance camera at home. The surveillance cameras at home are all very advanced. They are installed inside the walls and blend into the walls, making them difficult to be discovered. Don't alert her yet. I suspect she is from Xianhuang. Let's see what she wants to do first. Good. Ding, release the task. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Uncover Anna's conspiracy and capture the beautiful agent. Obtained, Qi refining level 1. Xiao Chu Nan was somewhat speechless. System, what do you think of me? You want to take me down just because I'm a beauty. But you know what, if Anna can be captured, it will be a revenge on Xianhuang. I didn't expect Xianhuang would actually dare to use the beauty trap. Boss Xiao, this is bad. Su Weinan pushed the door open and walked in quickly. There was an explosion on a cargo ship at our dock, killing more than 100 employees, 10 of whom were our Ying'an elites. This time, our losses were huge. As she spoke, Su Weinan's eyes became red, no matter if she was an ordinary employee or Ying'an's security guard. They are all our own employees. Usually they call me Sister Anan. A few minutes ago, they were all dead. This was hard for her to accept. What? Xiao Chuan stood up suddenly. How could an explosion happen? Lin Rushuang was also shocked by the number. It has not been thoroughly investigated yet. Su Weinan shook her head. Suddenly her cell phone rang. What? End the investigation, it was an accident. After receiving the official reply, Su Weinan was stunned. Lin Rushuang immediately guessed that the person behind the scenes was probably someone that even the authorities could not afford to offend. Chapter 26 Rescue. Hello. Xiao Chu Nan received a call from Ji Jibao. Ji Jibao has been recuperating in the hospital since his last injury. Upon learning of the situation, he ordered his men to investigate. I didn't expect the results to come out so soon. Master, we found out that it was Yuncheng who did it. Ji Jibao said. How did you find out? Xiao Chuan asked. No wonder the authorities dare not investigate. It turned out to be the Yun family. The Yun family does have influence, because the old man of the Yun family is a member of the Beater Society. Beiduhui, as the name suggests, means the North Star of Mount Tai. It is a heavyweight organization. Our undercover assassin in the Yun family sent back news that Yun Cheng came home smelling of gasoline. He left in a hurry not long after he came back. Check, find me his location. Xiao Chu Nan was furious. Dare to hurt your own employees. The Yun family no longer has any need to exist. Yes, master. At the same time, Tianhai Lake Villa District, number 1. Yun Cheng brought back several employees from Yuannan Group. Tie up a few people. Then, call Xiao Chu Nan. Hello. Xiao Chuan quickly answered the phone. Xiao Chu Nan, your employees are in my hands. If you want to save them, come to Tianhai Lake Villa District number 1 and make a deal. Don't play tricks on me. After saying that, Yun Cheng hung up the phone with a gloomy expression. Xiao Chu Nan, you took away what I love and hurt my relatives. This time, I want you to die. Are our men ready for the ambush? The subordinate next to him said, Second young master, the guns, ammunition and drones are ready. Very good. As soon as Xiao Chu Nan got the news, he went there. No, Mr. Xiao, Yun Cheng must have set an ambush. If you go there like this. Su Ainan was a little worried about his safety, so she blocked the door and prevented him from going out. Anan, have you forgotten how I saved your sister? Xiao Chu Nan said with a straight face. But the Yun family has an arsenal. The old man of the Yun family is a member of the Beater Society. Their weapons are very powerful. Su Ainan was still worried. Don't worry, I can handle it. Xiao Chuan grabbed her wrist and pulled her away. Then he opened the door and went out. The killer sisters followed. You must not get into trouble. Su Ainan could only pray silently. At the same time, there is a loss of confidence in official personnel. But when I think about the current situation where there are so many divided forces and the world is in chaos, I feel relieved. Xiao Chu Nan drove all the way to the Tianhai Lake Villa District. Bang! With a loud bang, Xiao Chuan kicked the door open. Buzz. There was the sound of a drone overhead. Take it down. Xiao Chuan ordered. Yes. Leng Rushuang threw the flying knife. Bang! A drone was shot down. Buzz buzz buzz, another group of drones came. These drones carried miniature bombs and swooped down towards the three men, as densely packed as locusts. This scene scared the killer sisters to death. They usually do assassination work and have never been surrounded by so many drones. Xiao Chu Nan, kneel down and beg for mercy. I will consider sparing your life. Yun Cheng's voice came from the loudspeaker. Xiao Chuan pretended not to hear and closed his eyes, gathering his inner energy into his fists. It's a good time to try the Thunderbolt Fist. He created this Thunderbolt Fist based on the images of a real dragon emerging from the sea and a mantis hunting its prey. It has the power of a dragon and the speed of a thunderbolt. Rising Dragon Thunderbolt Fist. Xiao Chu Nan gathered his strength and punched towards the sky. A powerful energy was like a real dragon soaring out of the sea, and the body of the real dragon broke through all obstacles. Bang! The drone swarm all exploded at the same time and fell down with a clatter. Yun Cheng was shocked when he saw this scene from the surveillance video. What the hell is this method? Young master, could this be a warrior? Several of his men nearby were also stunned. How does this have anything to do with warriors? Isn't he the CEO of the group? And it seems that his cultivation level is not low. Behind him, several employees of Yuannan Group were all very excited. Boss Xiao, it's Boss Xiao. He didn't forget us. He came here in person. Besides, he is so amazing. Outside. Let's go. Xiao Chuan rushed into the gate quickly. Yun Cheng saw three people enter the villa through the surveillance camera, and a triumphant smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Xiao Chu Nan, even if you are warrior, you can't resist my hail of bullets. I still say that, kneel down and beg for mercy, otherwise you will be beaten into a hornet's nest and you won't have a chance. His voice came from the loudspeaker. Tar da, tar da. In the dark, someone shot at them. Really? Then just watch carefully. Xiao Chu Nan made a very strange gesture. With a buzz sound, a golden protective shield appeared around him. The bullet was blocked outside. The three of them walked in the hail of bullets. What is this? Leng Rushuan was stunned. This guy is so scary. The previous golden bell cover, now the nameless shield. What is all this? She had never seen or heard of it before. Han Rushua knew that it was the golden body of Buddha, and when she saw that it could withstand bullets, her heart became even more excited. I must play with his legs when I get back. In this way, you can learn this magical skill. The faces of all the Yun family assassins who fired the shots changed drastically with horror. What's this? What is that glowing thing on him? The inner energy is exposed, and he is invulnerable to swords and spears. Could he be a master of dark energy? Some people who have been in contact with the martial arts circle were so frightened when they saw this scene that they dropped their weapons and ran away. What the hell? Yun Cheng was really scared. From the surveillance video, he saw Xiao Chuan approaching and he panicked. No, it's impossible. He is not a human. Even if he is a master of dark energy, he may not be invulnerable to swords and guns. Damn it, let's fight. Yun Cheng directly picked up the spray gun and aimed it at several employees of Yuan Group. The next second, the door was broken open. Xiao Chuan came in. Xiao Chu Nan, kneel down. Otherwise, I will kill your employees. Yun Cheng said viciously. Boss Xiao, don't worry about us. This man planted a bomb on the cruise ship, poured gasoline on it, and killed my wife. You have to kill him to avenge me. A middle-aged employee said tragically. Mr. Xiao, I'm scared. There was also a little girl, shivering. Xiao Chu Nan stared at Yun Cheng and said calmly. Are you done? If you're done, you can go die now. What are you talking about? Yun Cheng was about to laugh. Click, click, suddenly, a pistol was loaded at his head. It was Shizi, his loyal spy expert. Yun Cheng's face froze. Shizi, you? Sorry, I'm actually a spy on Ying'an. Shizi said with a grim expression. What? How is this possible? Yun Cheng couldn't understand why Ying'an's spy could reach the top of the Yun family. We Ying'an are all talented people. Is it difficult for us to get into the upper echelons of the Yun family? Shizi seemed to guess what he was thinking and said. Boss Xiao, please spare me. I am Yun Cheng, and my grandfather is Yun Zhonghe. If you kill me, my grandfather will not let you go. Yun Cheng begged for mercy in fear. Chapter 27 Talking with Zhang Lingyu. Yun Zhonghe, Beater Club. Xiao Chuanan smiled. Yes, my grandfather is a high-ranking official of the Beater Society. Mr. Xiao, please forgive me. Besides, I have broken the law, but you are not qualified to execute me. You should hand me over to the authorities. Yun Cheng seemed to see hope and felt a sense of luck. Xiao Chu Nan sneered. Bang! One bullet and Yun Cheng's head exploded. After getting rid of Yun Cheng, Shizi turned around quickly and started shooting at the remaining assassins of the Yun family. After all the problems were solved, he knelt down on one knee in front of Xiao Chu Nan. Master, I have accomplished your mission. Well done. Xiao Chuan nodded. Several employees were subsequently rescued. The employees were grateful and deeply moved. Shizi stayed to clean up the battlefield. Xiao Chuanan led his men away. When Su Ainan saw Xiao Chuan coming back, she cried. She ran up. Boss Xiao. Why are you crying again? Xiao Chuan reached out to wipe away her tears. Well, I'm happy. Two blushes appeared on Su Ainan's fair face and she lowered her head slightly. Okay, I'm fine, right? Xiao Chunan said with a smile. Next, Xiao Chuanan provided work-related injury compensation to 100 families, and those with children were supported directly until they graduated from college. This incident also made the news. An apartment in a village in the city. Zhang Lingyu is watching TV at home. Far South Group's cargo ship exploded. The chairman compensated 100 families. Zhang Lingyu frowned slightly. Why does this Yuan Group keep popping up recently, and is so mysterious? 10 years ago, I remember this small company even discussed cooperation with our Lin family. I didn't even know who their boss was. Mom, I'm back. Lin Xiao Yu opened the door, stuck her head out and spoke cautiously. You damn girl, how dare you come back? Zhang Lingyu got up, picked up the broom and went over. Oh, Mom, I was wrong. Lin Xiao Yu was so scared that she turned around and left quickly. You know you're wrong, right? How come you didn't know you were wrong when you were naked and lying on top of that man? Zhang Lingyu was so angry that her pretty face turned red, and she chased after him with a broom. Until now, she still doesn't know who that man is. She won't tell you even when asked. As a mother, she is really anxious. After all, he is a young man, so Lin Xiao Yu ran very fast. This damn girl. Zhang Lingyu was furious, thinking of her man. My daughter is so well behaved when he is at home. Now, alas. Hey, husband, when will you come back? Mom, Dad will be back. Lin Xiao Yu suddenly poked her little head out from the corner. Why don't you run away? Zhang Lingyu said with a stern face. Mom, can't we just talk about this? Lin Xiao Yu pouted, feeling helpless. Okay, let's talk. Zhang Lingyu turned around and went back to their house. Lin Xiao Yu followed in. Tell me, who is that man? Zhang Lingyu sat on the sofa and asked seriously. Mom, I told you to promise not to hit me. Lin Xiao Yu secretly glanced at her mother's face. Speak, said Zhang Lingyu. Then I won't say anything. Lin Xiao Yu was so scared that she shut up. Will you tell me or not? Zhang Lingyu picked up the broom. That's what I said. Lin Xiao Yu was frightened. She didn't want to be spanked. When Xiao Chu Nan hit her, he didn't use much force. When my mother beats herself, she always beats herself to death. Yes, he is a very rich, handsome, and successful man. What's his name? Mom, this is kept secret for now, because his identity is very special. It would be bad if you knew about it. Is he carrying out some confidential mission? Zhang Lingyu imagined the image of an official agent in her mind. If that was the case, it would not be impossible. It is said that the Xianwang agents are very powerful now, and each of them is an elite of the country. That's about right. Anyway, it's not good for you if you know his identity. Lin Xiao Yu didn't dare to say it. If my mother knew that her man was her childhood sweetheart, an old man as old as her, then she would collapse. Girl, you've kept it a secret from me. If you don't like Wang Liu, just tell me. I've been having to make do with you guys. Zhang Lingyu glared at her daughter. Well, brother Wang Liu is a good man, but he and I are not suitable. Lin Xiao Yu felt full of guilt because she had promised to marry brother Wang Liu when she grew up. But I didn't expect that I would have to dedicate my 10 years of youth to an old man. This man is old enough to be my father. 10 years. Okay, Mom isn't that kind of feudal person either. Since you don't like Wang Liu, just break up with him. Don't keep him hanging. It's very dangerous. Zhang Lingyu had been keeping Xiao Chu Nan hanging all those years ago. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come to see me with a knife in his hand. Find some time and bring that wild man of yours home to see. Mom will help you check him out. Mom, I have to work. I don't care. Call him now. I want to ask him something. Mom, he's busy. Do you want to fight? Okay, fight, fight, fight. Xiao Chuan Nan's villa. Oh, comfortable. As soon as he came back, Xiao Chuan lay on the sofa tiredly. Nanny Anna had just started mopping the floor. Start in the lobby. When mopping the floor, I don't know if she did it intentionally or unintentionally, but her butt was always facing Xiao Chu Nan. In addition, she was wearing a short skirt, and when she bent over, the hem of her skirt pulled up a little, revealing most of her thighs. Her tight and round legs were white and very eye-catching. Xiao Chu Nan couldn't help but stare. Suddenly the cell phone rang. Hey, Xiao Yu. Xiao Chuan Nan's voice sounded a little tired. Well, my mother wants to talk to you. Lin Xiao Yu's voice was nice and soft. Hello, young man. Zhang Lingyu snatched the phone directly. Oh, hello, auntie. Xiao Chuan added a little nasal tone. Hello, what's your name? When did you and my Xiao Yu hook up? What do you do? How much is your monthly salary? Who are the people in your family? Zhang Lingyu asked all the questions at once, as if investigating a household registration. Oh, auntie, my name is Chu Xiao. Xiao Yu and I started dating a few months ago. She's a very nice girl and I like her very much. My monthly salary is 5 million and I'm the only one at home. After saying this, Xiao Chuan couldn't help laughing. Damn it, calling your childhood sweetheart auntie directly lowers your generation status. However, it is not advisable to expose it so early. Wait until Lin Xiao Yu gives birth to a child for you before telling anyone. At that time, the damage to Zhongling Yu will be doubled with a critical hit. I know everything about you and Xiao Yu. You two are really something. Remember to take protective measures next time. Zhongling Yu instructed. Okay, auntie, I got it. Xiao Chu Nan's lips curled up slightly. By the way, auntie, where do you live? I'll come visit you when I have time. It's time to capture Zhongling Yu. If he wanted to take revenge on Lin Hao, simply taking down Lin Xiao Yu would only double the damage to him. Add his wife to the mix, and the damage doubles. On the day of exposure, Zhongling Yu learned about her daughter and herself, and Lin Hao learned about his wife and daughter. It's equivalent to a king bomb. I don't know how exciting this explosion is. Thinking about Xiao Chu Nan made me excited. Ding, host desire detected. Mission, capture Zhongling Yu as the masked man. Reward, life liquid. Introduction to the liquid of life, revive the dead and restore life to the terminally ill. Chapter 28, Taking Anna. Liquid of life. Seeing this reward, Xiao Chu Nan became more eager to win Zhongling Yu. Auntie, this place is a bit remote, let Xiao Yu bring you here this weekend. Zhongling Yu also wanted to see what this young man was like. Okay, auntie. After chatting for a few more words, Xiao Chuan hung up the phone. Not long after, Lin Xiao Yu sent a message. Are you really going to come to my house? Yes. Xiao Chuan replied. Invincible Tyrannosaurus Rex, aren't you afraid of being exposed? Xiao Chu Nan, what do I have to be afraid of? Invincible Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I'm afraid. Can I not come? I can't let my mother know it's you, otherwise she will go crazy. Xiao Chu Nan, okay, if you help me make chicken on Saturday, I won't go. After a while, the invincible Tyrannosaurus god of war replied. Good. Xiao Chu Nan smiled. Mr. Xiao, the bath water is ready. Anna said in a charming voice. Okay. Xiao Chu Nan walked towards the bathroom. Unexpectedly, Anna followed in. Anna, what are you doing? Xiao Chuan looked at her and asked. I don't have to help Mr. Xiao take a bath. It was always like this before. Anna stood at the door, feeling somewhat at a loss. No matter how your previous boss treated you, it doesn't matter with me. Get out. Xiao Chu Nan sneered in his heart. This woman's acting is really good. Most men would not be able to stand seeing her wearing a short skirt showing her long white legs and asking her to help him take a bath. If Xiao Chu Nan hadn't known her conspiracy, he might have agreed. Well, okay. Anna went out. As soon as she left the bathroom, her pretty face, which seemed a little uneasy, immediately became cold. What are you doing? Leng Rushuan saw her standing at the bathroom door and suddenly asked. Anna was startled and quickly smiled. I wanted to serve Mr. Xiao, but Mr. Xiao didn't let me, so I came out. Leng Rushuan asked, have you ever helped others take a bath before? My former boss had to wait on me every day and even touched me. Anna said with a pitiful expression. Oh, so how many men have you had sex with? Leng Rushuan also asked bluntly. Not yet. Anna said weakly. You are really amazing. You can protect yourself even from the claws of a hungry wolf. Leng Rushuan sneered softly. It was just a fluke, Anna whispered. Since you are still a virgin, go and serve Mr. Xiao tonight. Yes. Anna was secretly delighted. Isn't this opportunity here? When Xiao Chu Nan came out of the shower, Leng Rushuan immediately came over and whispered something to him. Really? Xiao Chuan pretended to be surprised. Go ahead, she said she'll come up after she takes a shower. Okay, I'll go upstairs first. Xiao Chu Nan went upstairs. Anna hid in the second bathroom, sticking to the door and listening to the noise outside. When she heard Xiao Chuan's surprised tone, she clenched the steel spike in her hand. All men are bad. You evil villain, you really dare to think of me. Evil villain, I will send you to hell tonight. Thinking of this, Anna took off her clothes without hesitation and started taking a bath. She inherited her mother's skin and the genes of the Yang Wang people. She has no body hair and her skin is as white as cream. Her pupils are black, her face is charming, and her figure is tall. She is simply the best among mixed-race people. Taking a cold shower, Anna recalled how she had used the beauty trap several times before, and each time she had succeeded, those rich and evil thieves had died in her hands. Suddenly, the cell phone rang. "Hello. Mr. Yun is urging you to hurry up." A man's voice came from the phone. "I understand. I found the opportunity. Let's take action tonight," Anna whispered. After hanging up the phone, Anna couldn't help muttering, "You actually killed Yun Cheng. No wonder old Yun urged you. It seems that the Yun family is really anxious. You are quite capable, and you can make the Yun family angry, but it's a pity that you are just an ordinary person after all." After taking a shower, she wrapped herself in a bath towel and slowly went upstairs. He gently opened Xiao Chuan's door and walked in. Xiao Chu Nan was almost falling asleep when suddenly a sweet fragrance came to his nose, making him open his eyes. "I saw this charming mixed-race beauty in front of me. Mr. Xiao," Anna called softly. "Anna, you are so beautiful, let me hug you." Xiao Chu Nan looked anxious. He sat up and hugged her. Anna dodged lightly. "Mr. Xiao, don't do that. Don't run, hold me." Xiao Chuan ran towards her and hugged her. "R." Anna was hugged and fell on the bed, unable to move. "Mr. Xiao, don't do that." Feeling the man pulling off her bath towel, Anna resisted with all her might. Because all of this will be captured by the camera. This video will become a scandal after his death, and no one will feel sorry for him as an entrepreneur. Instead, they will scold him. "If you say no, then I won't be embarrassed, right? Mr. Xiao, I beg you, I have a boyfriend and we are going to get married." Anna cried and begged for mercy. Xiao Chu Nan said evilly, "Then I will cuckold your boyfriend." Then he ripped off her bath towel. The perfect body made Xiao Chuan stunned. Gurgle, Xiao Chuan swallowed. "R." Anna covered her upper body in panic. The honey trap has been used so many times. This time the sacrifice was the greatest. "I saw everything. It's so beautiful." Xiao Chuan's breathing quickened. "Mr. Xiao, please let me go," Anna begged, crying. "Stop talking nonsense like that." Xiao Chu Nan bent down and kissed her sweet lips. She was kissed. Despite this, she remained clear-headed. After all, the army had received kissing training before. She quickly found her steel needle, slowly raised it, and pushed it towards Xiao Chuan's head. Her steel needle is made of a special alloy and can easily pierce the skull. This man will die while enjoying the beauty of her lips. Bang! Suddenly, Xiao Chuanan grabbed her wrist, left her lips, and looked at her with a smile. "You?" Anna was stunned. "Is this your weapon?" Xiao Chu Nan snatched the steel needle from her hand. "It's made of alloy, not bad." Then put it casually on the bedside table. "Let's get on with it." "No, how did you find out?" Anna was in despair, her face was pale. Har har, do you think I'm stupid? You're so beautiful, you can make more money as a model or anchor than as a nanny, and you seduced me as soon as you got here. Who would believe me if you said there was no problem?" After saying that, Xiao Chu Nan lowered his head and prepared to kiss her again. "If you dare to touch me, I will make you fall into hell," Anna threatened coldly. "Oh, are you talking about the cameras? I took them all down. It's a pity that your acting just now was not recorded." Xiao Chuanan smiled, then set up a camera on the cabinet and pointed it at the big bed. "But the next battle will be recorded." Anna felt like she was in hell and she knew she was finished. "You, how did you know?" She still couldn't believe that she would be exposed. "You are not qualified as a killer. There are 800 cameras in my villa. You sneaked into my room without even checking. How could I not know that?" Anna wanted to argue because she was not a killer. "But, Agent Shen Wang." But there is no point in saying so much. She failed. Especially for a woman as beautiful as her. It goes without saying what failure means.